back anymore. In truth, only one thing would. It always was and is and will always be my choice alone that ever could. For what I choose to surround will either free or bound, and the choice for either one is within me found. Here I stand now, light-footed, the very edge of the world. I'm unchained, untethered, the tip of my toes barely touching the ground. Gravity is losing me now. One by one, they all fell away, everyone and everything. During those times I felt my life was a joke, all areas just more suffering. My hands were burning and my feet were on fire, 'cause of what and who I held and where I long stood. But as I breathe my last sigh, raise my gaze to the sky, I ascend now within to my good. Here I am now, lighthearted, no longer part of the world. I'm reclaimed, reconnected. The sight of the ground can no longer be found. Gravity has no claim on me. Gravity, imaginary.
Ah, okay, I see what's going on. Thank you for that. I see. Okay. Apparently there was a computer reset. Windows reset my computer. So my audio settings and all of that were completely. The music wasn't playing over my talking. I wasn't talking while the music was playing. I played the music and then my mic was supposed to be on, but I didn't take a double look at the settings until I saw you guys and gals messaging me. So I appreciate that. I was just saying that I I was actually making some funny comments about a couple of things, but Jason Alexander is on the mound today for the Astros, and I said, let's hope that he has a really good day today. Let's wish him the absolute best for his and the Astros' sake. Let's totally destroy the Blue Jays, because the Blue Jays are a team that the Astros can beat. We are leading the series 3-1. I would like to win. I would like to win the last 2 games for sure, because we need it. But at the very least, to win the series is good. I'm sorry, to win at least 1 more game so that we can win the season series is what I mean. But anyway, I was mentioning the concept of explaining baseball and explaining American football to my Chinese friends when I was in China. If you want to take on a challenge in your life, meet a Chinese person from China who, if they've never been in America, or if they've only been in America a short time, chances are they know absolutely nothing about American baseball, nothing at all about American football. They've never played these things. So I used to have a fun time trying to explain those things. They have a difficult time understanding all of the details of the game. And the reason that I mention this is because in the post game or the pregame show, the Astros commentators were saying, "Oh, all baseball is, at its core, it's a simple game. You throw and catch and hit the ball." I was like, "What?" It's a little more nuanced than that. If you want to figure out how complicated baseball is right now, then try explaining it to a Chinese person. That was my point. But anyway, looks like we got a lot of messages here in the chat, a lot of people. Thanks for being here. Gregory's here. Thank you for being here. Welcome back. Patrick. I did get a little rest, Patrick. Thanks. I do appreciate it. I just I don't know why. I woke up several times. I always wake up a few times because I have to use the toilet. It's just my kidney. It's just my kidney thing. Hey, Brendan, good to see you here. Susan, thank you for being here. The Lion, welcome in. Gregory's home run predictions are on the board. I definitely would like to see those home runs. A Batman homer, a Skywalker homer, and another Jordan bomb. That'd be great. Insert name here. Hello to you. Interesting name. No, China has no similar games to baseball and American football. Now, if you go to Taiwan, you might be aware of this, but Taiwan is a really big baseball country. They take it very seriously. So does South Korea. But still doesn't compare, in my opinion, to Japan. Japan is you can say that baseball is the #1 sport in Japan. Of course, they like soccer too. Soccer is very strong in Japan. But right now, truly their biggest sport is baseball. But baseball and soccer are huge in Japan. Maybe it's the only country in the world where both sports are so big and so important. Let's see here. I need to move my screen around a little bit. This game is going to be underway shortly. In just a moment, we'll have the first pitch. Today's lineup is looking a little different. I'm glad to see Altuve is on break from this game. He really needs it. He needs a mental, emotional, physical reset. Pena is leading it off. Alvarez batting second again for some reason. He'll be in left field. Correa batting third. Christian Walker batting cleanup. Interesting. He's not doing very well. They move him up instead of putting Caratini there. Sanchez batting fifth. He'll be in right field. Jake Myers batting sixth in center. Caratini in the DH spot batting seventh. Diaz moved down to eighth. And Ramon Urias at second base batting ninth. Diaz is catching today. I don't quite understand this lineup. Why put Walker fourth? Why drop Caratini down to seventh? And why put Myers at sixth when you can have Myers and Caratini higher in the lineup? I don't quite get it. But it is what it is. Jose Berrios is on the mound today for the Jays, and that's the first pitch, a little low and outside, ball one. How many languages do I speak? Well, I speak basic Chinese, intermediate Japanese, and very terrible Spanish. This is a ground ball to short, thrown over to first base for the first out of the game. Pena goes down on a grounder. Yordan Alvarez is due up. I don't think that Christian Walker deserves the cleanup role. Not right now. I'd rather see Myers in the cleanup role. Actually, I'd like to see Alvarez batting third. Speaking of Alvarez, he takes that first pitch for a strike on the outside edge. Alvarez batting third. Then Myers batting fourth, cleanup. Sanchez batting sixth. Urias batting seventh. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. Urias batting seventh. And then I'm sorry. Caratini. I'd move him up. That's right. I'd move Caratini up. I try to stack those guys. So I had Myers and then a right-hander, and then Caratini, then a right-hander, and then Sanchez and a right-hander. Look at that. Right up the middle. Yordan with a nice, easy single. He's enjoying playing in Toronto, that's for sure. Curveball. Big drop, but he knew what it was. That's good batting right there. That was a big drop on that curveball. And he recognized it, put it right up the middle. Nothing but good batting right there, baby. If all the Astros could do that, we'd be scoring 20 points a game. South Korea takes the fastball. Well, it says a sinker on the screen. Here comes 0-1 pitch. Correa takes that one for a strike. Right on the inside edge. Here comes the 0-2. That's strike 3. Carlos Correa took 3 straight strikes. And then he stands there like it was a bad call. Nope, you're just a bad batter right now. He stood there and took 3 straight strikes. You can't tell me that is a beautiful pitch. The only person that he needs to be upset with is himself. Just be upset with yourself, dude. Gotta swing the bat. You can't stand there with the bat glued to your shoulder. 2 down. Now the question of the day is, how many strikeouts will Walker have? Here comes the first pitch. That was a beautiful slurve. I think I can see the difference now between the curve and the slurve. I can't believe they called that a ball. 1-0. Here comes the toss. Another slurve fouled off down the third base line. Gregory, that's my question. But then again, I already know the answer, so there's no reason for me to get upset about it. I expect the Astros to be a coin toss. Every single batter basically is a coin toss right now, except for Myers and Alvarez. That's a little below the zone. 2-1. Jordan has been getting all of the kudos recently, but Myers, he's over there eating a banana. Correa's eating a banana. Yeah, that's what you need to do, bro. He's like, man, maybe I need to get some more potassium or something. Swing and a miss below the zone on the changeup. 2-2. 今日本語を話します。でもまだ上手じゃありません。今日このブロードキャストは日本語じゃありません。That's a strike 3. Walker, I don't know what Walker was doing right there. He started to run the first. After he struck out, he started to run, and then he just stopped. He's like, no, I can't be bothered. Maximum effort, 0. What a joke. Carlos Correa and Christian Walker need to be pulled out of the game after those at-bats. 2 strikeouts. 1, strike looking. No swinging at all. Christian Walker strikes out and then thinks about running to first. Changes his mind, decides to casually stroll in the general direction of first base. So the catcher throws it to first base, and Walker is just standing there taking his gloves off. So that doesn't bode well for the Astros' attitude today. I don't know what's going on with the Astros today. The batting overall, I know what's going on with the batting, but I don't get the attitude. Do some of them not care? It's that was unfortunate to see. Alexander will be on the mound in just a moment. He has been severely limiting the opponent's runs. .27 ERA in August with a nice ERA. Or, with a nice win-loss percentage there. A win-loss record, rather. George Springer at the plate takes strike 1. Here's the next pitch. 89 miles an hour, right on the outside corner. Foul down the third baseline. 0-2. The Blue Jays have 5 left-handers in this lineup. Here's the toss. Check swing on the outside. He takes it for ball 1. Here's the pitch. Eric, that's a funny reason to leave him in there. He's definitely no Cal Ripken, that's for sure. Here's a pitch, the 1-2. This is hit hard to right field all the way out to the wall. Sanchez is back at the wall, and he barely makes the play at the wall. Springer makes a bid for a homer against Alexander. Next batter at the plate is Nathan Lukes, and he lines it straight to Urias. When he tried to transfer it to throw it over to Pena, he dropped it, but they rule it a catch. Be a little careful there. I hope that's the closest you come to making an error today, Urias. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at the plate. 91 in the bottom of the zone, strike 1. As long as we keep him away from the long ball for the rest of this series, that'd be nice, Gregory. Lone outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. 2 up and 2 down for Jason Alexander. Here comes the next pitch. Swing and a miss. The changeup just below the zone. Beautiful pitch. 'Twas a beautiful pitch, it was. I remember when my mum used to tell me stories as a little boy about beautiful pitches. Just like that one. Swing and a miss. Nice. Vladdy strikes out. Vladdy, what are you doing? How can you strike out to Mr. Alexander? Don't you know he's just actor? Eric says Caratini is a switch hitter, so the left-right thing doesn't even add up. Well, I think that Caratini has more power as a lefty. But the thing is, when you have lefties in the lineup and righties in the lineup, you want to stack them in a way that's balanced. You don't want all of your lefties coming up. Like if you have 5 lefties like the Blue Jays do right now, you don't want to go batters 1 through 5 lefties and then 6 through 9 righties. You know, that would be so out of balance. You want to mix it up a little bit. And that's what the Astros should do. But as the Astros lineup stands right now, it's righty, lefty, righty, righty, lefty, righty, switch, righty, righty. So we have 1, 2, 3 batters at the plate who can bat, or that are in the lineup that can bat lefty. They're showing some highlights of the Batman right now, as a matter of fact. Since July 1st, batting .346, slugging .391, and Espada has barely been putting him in the game. Of course. Jesus Sanchez at the plate. That's low and inside for strike one. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Buddy Sanchez fouls it off. 0-2. Here comes the next pitch. Low below the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yeah, Eric, you're right. Alexander and Blue Ball have been big helps. Blue Ball becoming more and more prominent, right? Low and outside. I haven't been able to quite figure out why they pulled him out yesterday. Could have left Blue Ball in for a little while longer. Here comes the 2-2. Low and inside. Full count. Jesus takes a little time out. Does some swinging the bat around. He fouls that one off down the first base side. The count remains 3-2. If you haven't liked the live stream yet, please do so. I'd appreciate that. If we can get a lot of likes early on, it will help to grow our community here. 21 watching, 61 watching, 25 likes. Outside, all right. Sanchez starts us off with a walk here in the second. He started off with an 0-2 count. Came back and got the walk. Very good at bat by Sanchez. But yeah, we got 62 people watching and about half of those likes, only 50%. We need at least 15 more likes to get that up to 75%. Whoa. Myers takes one right across the face there. Ball 1. Jake the Rake. He's got a 4-game hit streak going right now. Here comes the 1-0. Almost got him again. 2 balls and no strikes. Yeah, it's starting to get there, Gregory. 22 pitches. Here's the 23rd for Berrios. That's going to be a strike on the outside lower corner. Nice sinker. Yeah, I want to see Jake busted open. He was flirting around with it yesterday. He had 2 deep drives to center field. Oh, man, that was another beautiful pitch. Lower and outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Give him a gift from Houston, Jake. Sanchez is stealing. The ball is in the dirt. Sanchez is easily there. Look at that. That's his first steal with the Astros, actually. His helmet goes flying off. Nice jump. Easily in there. Hey, Glenn. How's it going? Did Garcia officially get DL'd? Myers swings and misses for the strikeout on the 3-2 pitch. Seems like he could have gotten the bat on that one. Do you mean put on the IL, Eric? The Batman is at the plate. Check swing on the outside, ball 1. Come on, Batman. Caratini stepped out of the box for a moment to take a timeout. Garcia's on the IL right now. 94 miles an hour right in there. Caratini held up again, but this time it was right in the center of the plate. We've got 1 out. Sanchez on second base. Opportunity for the Astros to get a run on the board. Come on, Batman. Here's the toss. Low and inside. I make a pickoff attempt at second base on Sanchez. He gets back. That's pretty close. Oh, Sherry, there's nothing to be sorry about. I was just upset because I saw some podcasters and people claiming to be Astros affiliates and Astros fans tossing shade. This is hit hard. That might be gone. Is it going to make it? No. He gets it at the track. It slowed down. What a good hit by Caratini. It floated out there. It just couldn't quite get there. Man. Why is Sanchez still on second base? Did he not tag and go to third? Why did he not tag and go to third? That ball was all the way to the right field wall. Am I missing something here? Diaz stands there and takes a strike right down the middle at the bottom of the zone, but still. I'm really confused right now because Sanchez is still in second base. That ball was hit all the way to the wall in right field, and he did not take third. The Astros commentators just now mentioned it. Sanchez didn't move from second. That's all they said. You don't want to elaborate on that a little bit? Did you see something on the field? What about the third base coach? What about Perez Chica? Was that a Perez Chica failure or a Sanchez failure? I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Inside, check swing. They say he went around, and that'll be strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. DeLion, yeah, that's terrible base running. Terrible base running. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Up and in, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Oh yeah, Nick Hernandez. That makes sense that they bring in Nick Hernandez. Hopefully Hernandez, whenever he comes in the game, he'll have some good luck. Just want the Astros to stay healthy and do well, do their best. Here comes 2-2. Low and outside. Another full count. Berrios is now up to 35 pitches. So he's had a few full counts here with the Astros in the second inning, so that's good. Here's the pitch. That's hit hard out to right field, all the way to the wall. It's off the wall, off the very top of the wall. Sanchez will score. Diaz goes into second easily. All right. Man. That ball was just shy of an Oppo taco. Yeah, the wall over there, you see where it elevates? Look how close that was. Look how much it missed a home run by. Whoa, it's off the blue line. Missed it by a couple of inches, literally a couple of inches. Just barely was not a homer. No, I didn't mean get healthy. I mean not get hurt. Because Nick Hernandez is already healthy. Here's the pitch. This is hit to third, but scooped up by the third baseman, who fires over and gets Urias at first base. But the Astros do get one on the board. Thank you, Diaz. You did well today. That'll do, pig. That'll do. 1-0 on the just barely missed home run ball. That's two deep drives to right field. One by the Batman, Caratini, and one by Diaz, both of our catchers. Hitting the ball. Caratini pulling it as a lefty, and Diaz going opposite field as normal. He hits a lot of opposite field hits. Most of his, I'd say, are opposite field. His homers and his base hits are often opposite field. But 2 hits for the Astros. One by Jordan in the first, and one by Diaz in the second. And we've got 1 run on the board. Good effort at first by Sanchez, getting the walk and then stealing second base. Luckily, the missed tag didn't hurt the Astros. He was able to get driven in by Diaz. 1-0. Bottom of the second coming up. Let's see if we can hold this lead and get into the third with the same score. Dalton Varsho is due up, followed by Alejandro Kirk. Captain Alejandro Kirk. And then Addison Barger. Well, stay healthy. Yeah, stay healthy, not get injured. Same thing. Same thing. What I mean is, people like Hernandez coming in, and the rest of the Astros stay healthy, not get hurt. So the players that we still have, okay, the players that we still have, I want them to not get hurt. That's what I'm saying. So stay healthy, not get hurt, same. That's right. Varsho at the plate. Whoa! Alexander gets a little payback for them going at Jake Myers' face. He goes at Varsho's face. Tit for tat, I suppose. You almost hit our guy in the face. I'm going to return the favor. Here's the next pitch. That's grounded straight to Urias, who fires over to Walker. That's an easy ground out for the first out of the inning. 2 pitches, 1 down. Alejandro Kirk comes to the plate. He's going to be the next batter today. Eric says Sanchez owes Diaz dinner. Hey, that's a nice pitch. 90-mile-per-hour sinker on the outside edge. Strike 1 to Kirk. Or at least he owes him the $5 breakfast. Yeah, that's right. And 1 plane ticket to fly over to Hiroshima and have that breakfast with me. Right below the zone. 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Nobody on. Here's a pitch. Outside. The pitch was on the wing. There's something on the wing. Some thing on the wing. Here's the pitch. This is grounded to Pena. A little bouncer, nice and easy, over to first base, and that's out number 2. This is what I like to see from Alexander right here. You know, if Alexander continues to pitch like this, then he will be my favorite pitcher. Not Hunter Brown, not Framber Valdez, not whoever. Oh, that's a big hat. Look at that lady's hat. That's ridiculous. I want to say redonkulous. 91 outside. Addison Barger is at the plate. Let's see if you're right about the strikeout. You said Barger is a sure strikeout. 91 on the outside edge. That's strike one, 1-1. But a pitcher who quickly and easily gets ground outs and flyouts, I much prefer a pitcher like that. 91 mile per hour pitch at the bottom of the zone, strike two. Sherry predicts the strikeout. Here's the opportunity. Here's the opportunity. Here's the toss. Whoo, just above the zone. Come on, do it for Sherry, Jason. Strike him out. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. This next pitch might be too much. Oh, he fouls it off. He got a little piece of it. He's trying, Sherry. He just barely got a piece of that one. Missed a strikeout by inches, just like Diaz and his homer. Oh, too high. Full count. Oh, you like my Shatner? Rocket Man. I've never tried to do the Shatner Rocket Man. Here's a pitch. Fouls it off again. Jason and the Astronauts. I should use that for one of my thumbnails. Maybe I can do that for a community post, Gregory. That's a good idea. Thank you for that. I'll try to make an image with Jason Alexander. Jason and the Astronauts. Oh, 91 at the bottom of the zone. That was a strikeout. He took a pitch that was strike 3 and the umpire called it a ball. It's not an exaggeration. 91 at the bottom of the zone, right across the knees. The umpire said nope. But you know what, Sherry? I'm gonna say you were right. That was a strikeout. The umpire was wrong. You were right. The umpire was wrong. 89 miles an hour, fouled away by Ernie Clement. Strike 1. Barger is on first base with a fake walk. Speaking of China, you know, we were talking about China earlier. That walk just now was made in China because it was fake. Here comes the 0-1. Right on the outside, but just wide. On the wing. 1-1. Yes, he did miss that call. He absolutely did. Here's the pitch, the 1-1. Too far inside. 2-1. Glenn says you need a lit to do a Shatner Rocket Man. You need a lit ciggy and a bar stool. Smoke the ciggy as if it was wacky weed. That's funny. I definitely have the stool. Don't have the cigar. It wouldn't be difficult to get one, though. Easy to get a cigar in Japan. They've got some cigar shops. I've never smoked a cigar, though. Here comes the 2-1. That's lined into left field. That might score a run. He's going to have to hurry and bring it in. Come on, Jordan. They bring him all the way to third. He's going to have to stop. Barger. Barger is stopped at third, thankfully. Jordan gets over there just quick enough to bring it in. That ball was all the way out to the wall. Runners on second and third. That was a nice play by Urias. You guys didn't notice that. The throw went over the head of Jeremy Pena, but Urias was there backing him up. That's good D right there, baby. The second baseman all the way over, backing up the shortstop between him and the third baseman. That's just great defense right there. Here's the pitch. Low and inside, ball 2. Joey Loperfido at the plate. This is going to be a strikeout, Sherry. This is the one I'm going to guess is a strikeout, okay? This is my strikeout selection. Even though it's a 2-0 pitch. Here's the 2-0. Look at that. It's in the dirt, low and inside. I'm going to stick to my guns. Joey Loperfido was recalled yesterday, and he was in the game yesterday. Didn't do anything. Here's the 3-0 pitch. He's probably going to take it. That's in there. 91 right in the middle of the plate. So Alexander still has his control. Runners on second and third with 2 outs. This is another one of those things that I talked about before just the other day, and it seems to be too often. Fouls that one off on the left side. Full count. And that is the Astros pitchers getting 2 outs and then starting to struggle. It kind of reminds me, you know, now that I think about it, it kind of reminds me of the Astros getting base runners on and then stranding them. The pitchers get 2 outs and then start giving up base hits, you know, and walks and stuff. It's kind of crazy. Fouls that one off. Is it going to be caught? Yes, Correa gets it. It's not a strikeout, but it's close enough. I'm going to give myself that one. It's out number 3. I just knew that Loperfido would let him down because that's what he kind of did for us on the offensive side. I mean, he's got a pretty good glove and he's got a lot of heart. God bless him. I wish him the best, but not against the Astros. Forget you. Well, if you're not an Astro, then forget you. That's it for the second inning. The Blue Jays threaten. They get a hit. Almost get a guy in, but Alexander manages to get out of it. And we retain our lead, just like I was hoping we would do. 1-0. That's progress. We get a lead, or we get a run, and we don't turn around and give it right back. That's been a problem with the Astros, right? Just to just immediately give those runs right back. It's nice to see that he was able to lock it down, keep it together. 1-0. Top of the third coming up. Astros should get more runs this inning. Anything less would be illogical. Let's see here. Hey, Sarcastic Prodigy showed up and dropped in a super. That right there is what you call a free. That's not a $5 breakfast. That's a free breakfast. Oh my God. I'm going to call that a free $5 breakfast. Thank you so much. The first super chat of the day coming in from Mr. Sarcastic Prodigy. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate you. Yes, Jeffrey Allen is right. Please smash the like button. Let me see what I'm missing here. I know I'm missing a couple of things in the chat. The Flash is back up at the plate. First pitch from Berrios. Pena goes after it, low in the zone, hits it straight to center field, and that's going to be an easy fly ball. 1 away. 1 pitch, 1 out. Oh, it's supposed to... Oh! A cigarette. Okay, I see. That's even easier to get. I can go to the vending machine and get one of those. Get some lotto numbers from Sherry. Yeah. Might be able to hit at least most of them. Get some money. 91 on the inside. Jordan takes strike 1 on the cutter. Yeah, Javier and Gosman tomorrow. Gosman. I'm not sure if it's Gosman. Gauze, that would be an interesting name. Here's the next pitch to Jordan. Low and inside. 1-1. 1 out, 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. The 1-1 below the zone. 2-1. Glenn posting the Rocket Man narration. Here's the pitch. Hey, rocketed through the right side. Jordan does it again. On the 2-1 pitch, he punishes it. I think the Blue Jays are just going to start walking him after this. He's 2 for 2 today. That's absolutely crazy. 113.4 miles an hour on that cutter. Right through the hole. They don't even have time to react on that. It's already through the hole before they can move. 83 miles an hour. Right in the bottom of the zone. That's 4 straight strikes taken by Correa. He struck out looking on 3 straight pitches his last at bat. Let's see if he can turn that around here. Swing the bat. Remove that super glue from your shoulder that's holding your bat down. He finally swings and fouls it off, and he's got the 0-2 count. Rock Lobster. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Come on, South Korea. Low and outside, ball 1. How about one of those opposite field specials, Correa? Get Jordan over to third base. He fouls that one off, and it goes into the crowd. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The count remains. You got to give Canada some credit. They're trying. I mean, it's called the World Series, right? They want to win. But Canada's the only other country that's trying. It is an opposite field hit. But that's going to be a double play. So it'll be not a hit, but an inning ender. So Correa rockets a grounder straight to the second baseman. Almost, but not quite. You know how it is in baseball. Almost doesn't count. Not in this game. Not in this game. If baseball were played with hand grenades or horseshoes, then it would count. Ouch in Japanese is not ite. It's itai. Itai. It also it literally means hurt, like it hurts or pain. I can actually type that for you. This is the kanji. Itai. But yeah, if you just say itai, 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 that's the very casual way of saying it hurts. Romaji? When I first started studying Japanese at the school, first pitch is a strike to Andres Jimenez, right in there. When I first started studying Japanese at the school, I had to learn very quickly to stop using romaji. If you keep using romaji, it becomes a crutch. But I know you're not studying Japanese, at least I assume you're not. But when you're studying it seriously, you have to force yourself to lean on the hiragana, katakana, and of course the kanji. Kanji takes a lot more time because there's so many. But you can spell every Japanese word with kana, hiragana, and katakana. Hey, look at that. Nice strikeout. Andre Jimenez strikes out. And that's the first out of the inning. Take a look at this changeup. Yeah, he was way out of his league on that swing. Nice pitch. Here's the toss. Low and outside. Do you know all of the hiragana, Glenn? Here's the 1-0. The thing that annoys me is that some of the katakana is so similar to the hiragana. Almost the same. And then some is like completely different. 90 miles an hour. Whoa, how was that not a strike? How was that not a strike? The ball was completely in the bottom of the zone and called a ball. That umpire is missing some of those low pitches. It's 2-1. That one's below the zone. Unsurprisingly called ball 3. 3-1. Here's the pitch. Yeah, look at that. Can you believe that? 30 miles an hour. Right in there. This is hit to the right side. A soft hit to Walker. Alexander quickly covers and gets the out. Nice. 2 down. Nathan Lukes. Springer's actually DHing today. He's not in the field. First pitch to Lukes is in there, 90 miles an hour on the sinker, strike 1. Here's a toss. Fouled off down the third baseline, and it's 0-2. Many of the umpires have been terrible this year. That's right. People were saying that it's inevitable that we'll have the strike zone system. Some think next year. What do you guys think? Do you think we'll have it next year? Above the zone? I certainly hope so, Sherry. Another strikeout here would be good. It looks like it. 1-2. Come on, Alexander. You can do it, my friend. Another changeup. That's exactly what he threw. But it was fouled down the first baseline. Too high. Glenn says, I learned katakana and it also bothered me after learning Polish. I wanted to learn Czech. It's very similar to Polish. So I gave up and learned Hungarian instead. That's funny. Grounder to Urias at second. He picks up and throws it to Walker. And that's 3 up and 3 down. Astros preserve their lead again. It's a whopping 1-0. One hit through 3 innings for the Jubays. The Jubays. Berrios. Or is it Berrios, maybe? Because of the accent, I guess. He'll be back on the mound in just a moment, facing Christian Walker, Jesus Sanchez, and Jake the Rake. Did Hernandez not retire yet? I thought maybe he was already done. I thought maybe he was already out. Maybe I heard wrong, or maybe I remember incorrectly. Yes, he did retire. He retired last year. May of 2024, last year he retired. So I heard correctly. I didn't know the details, but I thought he'd retired already. He's gone. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Glenn. You know that's one of the that's kind of the double-edged sword about Japanese is that sometimes you'll learn a new word in the class, and for somebody like me, you would think, oh yeah, well that's easy to remember because it's a loan word, right? It's a word that was literally taken from English and then they use it in Japanese because they didn't have a word for that in Japanese, or for some reason it's just easier to use the English word. Here's the first pitch to Walker. That's fouled off. 93 right in the middle of the zone. So just for example, this right here, this is a cup, right? Cup, cup is how you say it in Japanese. And it sounds like, oh, that's easy. You can memorize a lot of words. That's in the dirt, 1-1. And that's true. There are many, many words in Japanese that are loan words. And so there are tons of them that are just like that. But loan outside, 2-1. The thing about that is it gets to a point where there are so many loan words, you start to question whether or not there should be a Japanese word for it and which one do they usually use, you know. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Hey, Walker bounces an easy one right through the middle. There was a big hole there, nobody covering, right next to the bag. Sweet. Walker gets a base hit. We got a leadoff runner on first base. That's the third hit of the game for the Astros. Hey, Shake, good to see you here. Go Astros indeed. Here's the toss. Fouls off. You know, it's funny because your icon, Shake, your icon on there, I just now, because it's so tiny on the screen, I just now took a really good look at it. Aqua Teen Hunger Force Shake. I recognize that. That's hilarious. That's in there for strike 2. Sanchez fouled the first pitch off. We've got Christian Walker on first base here in the top of the 4th. No outs. 0-2 count. Sanchez readjusts himself and gets back into the box. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Too far inside, 1-2. That was a very interesting show, Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Please write Astros in hiragana. Well, that would be written in katakana, not hiragana. Actually, I've got Ghostros shirts on sale in my store. If you take a look at those shirts, you can see the Ghostros written in katakana. That's below the zone on the changeup. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Sanchez. Here comes the toss. Up the middle. It's broken bat, it looks like. Sounded like a broken bat. But it was a really slow roller, so Walker was able to get to second. No double play, thankfully. Kind of a sacrifice, I guess you could say, on behalf of Sanchez. Yeah, that was knocked down, too, by the pitcher. I didn't see that on the original play. Thought it was just a slow roller. It was knocked down. But because the pitcher knocked it down, the double play was eliminated. Good job. Barrios doing us a favor. Jake the Rake at the plate with 1 out. Walker on second base. Here's the toss. Curveball right in there. Slurve. Let's see here. Let me change my keyboard to Japanese so I can type it in. Oh, hang on a second. Swing and a miss. 93 on the inside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jake Myers. There you go. Here's a pitch. Myers fouls it off of himself, and he looks a little hurt there. They immediately run out and check on him. Good grief. Looks like that was off of his shin. Oh, off of his knee. He immediately went down. Man. Jake's poor legs. 0-2 is the count. That's the Romaji, by the way. Astros. Myers is back up in the box. 0-2 count with 1 out. Walker's still in second. Bring the lobster home, baby. Here comes the toss. Opposite field foul ball. Count remains 0-2. Prodigy. Newsflash, Walker got ahead in the count. Does Walker see what could happen when he gets ahead in the count sometimes? Stranger things have happened? Not too many. Hey, Shrewdly. Good to see you. Here's the pitch. Myers strikes out again. Low and outside on the slurve. And he loses his helmet. That guy lost his hat. On the swing. Hope Myers is all right. That's 2 strikeouts today. That's not good. The Batman comes to the plate. He drove one all the way out to the warning track earlier. Nice rip to right field. Let's see if he can get another one. But this time a little further over the fence. That's outside for ball 1. Shrewdly says, just lurking on TV tonight, but wanted to say we're with you, Go Astros. Thank you, sir, for being here. Thank you so much. Glad to have you lurking. Low and inside. 2-0 to Caratini. Anytime the pitch is inside, even if it's in the strike zone, Caratini acts like it was about to hit him. He does the little dance, you know. Kind of funny. Here comes a 2-0. See, he kind of jumped at that one, but that was a strike on the inside edge. 2-1. Come on, Batman. Come on, Batman. He calls a timeout. I guess he wants to check his utility belt. Two outs. Batman, you are our last opportunity. Help us, Obi-Wan. You're our only hope. Low and inside. 3-1. Yainer Diaz on deck. He had a nice double his last at bat. About 2 inches away from a homer. Just too far to the right. Here's the toss. Ooh, he went after that one. 94 low bottom of the zone on the sinker. Full count. 50 likes, but 113 people watching or listening in. Make sure you like the live stream. Here's the pitch. Caratini grounds that to the second baseman, who bobbles it for a moment, but then he throws it over to get the out, no problem. And that's it for the Astros. One hit, nothing doing after that. 4 hits for the Astros, 1 run on the board after 4 innings of effort. The Geaux will be up. Geaux Bays. That's what you'd say. The Geaux Bays will be up in just a moment in the bottom of the 4th, starting with Vladimir Guerrero Jr., followed by Dalton Varsho and Alejandro Kirk. Oh, nice, Marduk. Did you see how close it was? It was right there, man. Just a couple inches more to the left, it would have been a homer. So close. Once again, though, even yesterday and today, the Astros have been putting the ball out on the warning track, but just not enough extra power to get it over the wall. So close, yet so far away. A lurkin' gherkin. I had some stuff on my mind last night, so I made a community post. Some of you may have read it, but after that, I was still quite awake, so I decided to record some audio for a video, and then I stayed up to edit that and turn it into a video. It's coming up in about a week. It'll premiere in a week. I was thinking about going ahead and posting it, but I don't like posting videos on days where there are games, because if there's a day that I don't have a game, I should post my videos on that day. That way I don't have a drop in views and stuff, a massive drop. Wow, bouncer to Correa makes a challenging catch there and throws over to first base to get Guerrero Jr. That's out number 1. Astros have a lot more than that, actually. Not looking good. 9 lobsters. Only 2 for the Blue Jays. While I'm tapping the lobster count, Varsho hits the first pitch out to left field. Jordan floats over next to the wall and grabs it. Has just enough room to put it away for out number 2. How tall is this guy? He looks like a fat Altuve. Alejandro Kirk. He strolls to the plate. He's so thick. He just waddles more than walks. Even his legs look chunky. First pitch is in there for strike 1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Nice. On the outside edge, strike 2. Alejandro Kirk is about 5'8", it looks like. Yeah, he's not tall. Just a couple inches taller than Altuve. So, no wonder. 2 pitches out of the zone, and now it's 2-2. Good grief, Eric. That's the last thing that the Astros need to do. Cork the bats. Get into more trouble for cheating. This is hit up the middle. Pena grabs it. Lobs it over to first base. Kirk was barely even halfway down. He kicked the bag. That's funny. He was barely even halfway down the bag whenever Pena threw him out. He jogged up to first base and then kicked it. What a comical guy. Yeah, that's right. Kirk, no wonder Kirk looks like a fat Altuve. He's only 5'8", but he's 245 pounds. Just 26 years old. Are you kidding me? What a comical looking guy. He's definitely got the catcher body, that's for sure. That's for sure. Are there any other games going on right now? Yeah, there are a few. Let's take a quick look at the scoreboard. Guardians over the Royals 3-2. Battle of the Cattle between the Orioles and the Pirates. Let's see here. The Tigers and the Yankees are knotted up at goose eggs in the top of the 4th right now. Hey, look at that. The Astros are beating the Blue Jays 1-0. All right. Let's see. We got the Braves coming up next. A couple of days later, we'll be starting this series with the Braves in Atlanta. Mariners don't play until a little bit later, about an hour and a half from now. And the Strangers. Was this today's game? They beat the Brewers 6-3, or was that yesterday's game? Was that today? Ah, that's unfortunate, but whatever. I still think that this stadium looks more like a concert venue than it does a baseball park, and I feel like they have it backwards. They should have home plate underneath that roof area. I feel like the design is backwards. It's just my feeling. Yeah, we do need some Astros support. We do. Yainer Diaz is at the plate. Had a nice double, almost homer earlier. Prodigy says keeping the Blue Jays lobster opportunities at 2 is a win situation, too. Yeah, I mean, if they don't have the opportunity to bring runners in, it's like they never even catch the lobsters to begin with. You know, getting the runs in is just like catching lobsters. It's a 2-step process. You know, you got to get them first, and then you got to get them back to shore. Step 1, catch them, get them in the boat, you know. Step 2, secure them back to shore. If they don't even get them in the boat, if we don't let them get them in the boat, they don't even have the opportunity to bring them home, you know. This is grounded to third in the dirt. Good catch at first base by Guerrero Jr., and Diaz is out on the grounder. Ramon Urias will be at the plate in a moment with 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Still Viper, I cannot believe that. That's the opposite of what I was thinking. I thought that the Brewers would get at least 2 of those games. They really, really let me down. Let all of us down. Urias grounds it to second base. I'm sorry, short. On the very first pitch, and that's 2 down, just like that. Barrios up to 71 pitches. And we are back to the top of the batting order with the Flash, Jeremy Pena. You're right, Shake. We got to win this one, sir.
We got to win this one. We got to win it, Shake. We've got to win this one.
Can't do a really good Shake. I haven't watched that show in such a long time. Here comes the pitch to Pena. 93 on the inside. Strike 1. Abel says, let's go Astros. For sure, let's go Astros. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Another grounder to the shortstop. Another bad throw to first base. He scoops it up. Two bad throws by the Blue Jays infielders, but scooped up by Guerrero at first base for no problem. That's 3 straight grounders from the Astros. Third base, shortstop, shortstop. 3 up and 3 down, nothing doing at all. Very short, easy inning for Barrios. That's it for the Astros through 5. Still 1-0. 4 hits for the Stros, 1 hit for the Jays, and we're going into the bottom of the 5th. Alexander will be facing Barger, Clement, and Loperfido. Eric says, who was the fat guy that played for Seattle a couple years ago? I remember a play where the third base coach sent him on a sac fly, and as he's running, he's shaking his head no. And gets thrown out by 20 feet. I don't know, but that would be funny to see. I really don't know, but that sounds very comical. Fox at Bat, hello, good to see you. Fox at Bat says, hi everyone, good day, go. I'm a little late, but I see that things are not very different from yesterday. I guess we have several lobsters. We have 9. Now, we didn't get anybody on base in the 5th inning, so we didn't even have an opportunity for a lobster. It's like we sent the boat out, right? I think of a game as an entire day, a fishing day, a lobster fishing day. 9 innings is the minimal amount of trips out into the ocean you get to go catch lobsters. But it's a 2-step process. Like I said before, right? Step 1, go out and catch them. Secure them back home. That's step 2. Throughout the first 5 attempts, the Astros have lost 9 lobsters, but they've managed to secure 1. It's not good. It's not a good ratio. But in the 5th inning, they didn't even catch any lobsters. They went out and they fished and they caught nothing. 0-2 is the count to Barger. He hits this one out into center field. Myers is underneath it and he'll put it away, no problem. 1 out. The Blue Jays haven't had much traffic, so they only have 2 lobsters. That means that the Astros have been successful in thwarting their ability to even catch lobsters, to get them in the boat, so that's good. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1 to Clement. That's on Alexander and the Astros defense. They've managed to keep the Blue Jays from actually getting them in the boat. 90 miles an hour right in there, strike 1. The count's 1-1 with 1 out. Bottom of the 5th. Here's the toss. Swiffer, low and outside, 2-1. Toronto's in the East or Central time zone. That's a good question. Wakarimasen. I don't know. That's hit hard out into left field. Line drive shot, but into the stands. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Shake is right. We've got the players to get hot. That's in the dirt and outside. Goes all the way to the backstop. Full count. But it is a coin flip. What will the Astros bats do for the rest of the game? It's a coin toss. They could blow the game up, score a lot of runs, or they might not score any more runs. Who knows? This is hit up the middle, and that's going to be down for a hit. Second hit of the game from the same guy. Clement has 2 hits today. He's the only one with hits for the Blue Jays. 2 for 2 today. Everybody else, 0 for whatever. Prodigy says the Rangers are playing way above their head. They're playing way above what they should be capable of doing. I agree with that. Even when they played the Astros, I don't understand why we did so poorly against them, because we should have handled them easily. But then again, the Astros, like I said, the batting is a coin flip right now. It really is. Joey Loperfido at the plate again. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Runner on first base with 1 out. Let's get that double play ball. Loperfido hasn't been able to put anything in play. He fouled out his last at bat. 2 balls and no strikes on the outside. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a foul ball behind the plate. 2-1. Glenn says I'd be a great voice actor, for example, for an animated movie like Madagascar or Shrek. I'd like to do anime. I'd really like to do some voice acting for anime, but it's so difficult to figure out where to go to get that kind of work. It's the only kind of work, I guess you could say it's the only job that I would like to do in Japan. I'm done teaching. My primary income right now is actually partial disability. 77 right down the middle on the Swiffer. Swing and a miss. Take that, Loperfido. Strike your Fido, more like it. Hopeless Fido. Strike at the Fido. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the toss from Alexander. Swing and a miss, and he's going to second base. They get him. Look at that double play, baby. Strike him out, throw him out. Strike him out, throw him out. Clement thrown out by a mile. Look at that. Beautiful strikeout at the bottom of the zone, and then an easy dart to second base. Look at that. He was out by a mile. He tried to push his arm out of the way. Did you see that? Clement tried to push Pena's arm out of the way. Oh my gosh, that was beautiful. Was that not the most beautiful double play you've seen from the Astros in a long time? Oh my gosh. Good job all around. Jason Alexander with a strikeout. Diaz with a beautiful catch at the bottom of the zone. And then coming up and firing to eliminate Clement at second base, and Pena with the great tag. Clement sliding in with his right hand, trying to push Pena's arm out of the way. Can you believe that? What a saucy fellow. What a saucy fellow. Jason Alexander has given us 5 innings of 2-hit shutout ball in Toronto on the road. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Steel Viper, $10 for the summer of George to continue. Thank you, sir, for that super chat. That super duper super chat. I could actually go to the family restaurant and get a steak meal for that. I can get a steak dinner. Now the baseline steak starts at $10, but they've actually got one there that's $22 or so, if I do the conversion correctly. They have a really nice one at a family restaurant called Coco's. I'm going to call this the entry-level steak. Thank you, sir, for the entry-level steak dinner. Yordan Alvarez is at the plate, takes the first pitch for strike 1 while I'm typing in there. Hey, Prodigy with another $5. Here's the pitch to Yordan. Below the zone, 1-1 is the count. Thanks for the bonus breakfast. I appreciate that. Hey, $7 more, and I'll be able to get the really awesome steak dinner. Actually, I haven't had that in a while. Can't justify spending it yet. How about this? How about this? If the Astros, once they clinch a playoff spot, then I'll celebrate. Maybe I can do a live stream. That'd be kind of cool. Would you guys like to see that? That's right up the middle. Oh, but they were covering at that time. The shortstop. $111.4 off the bat. And they played him right up the middle. Jordan was smiling about that, and Berrios, the pitcher, was like, "Hey, I finally got you." That was funny. I like to see this, this type of banter between the players. It's nice. 1 out. Correa at the plate. Here's the pitch. Wow, inside, and that ball is just barely foul. I don't know what Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was doing at first base, but he let it roll by and it went foul. If he had hustled in there to grab it, he could have gotten in fair territory, but it'll be strike one as it is. Ah, Still Viper comes in with another $10. $25. That's right. $25 not only gets the nice steak, but definitely the extra sides. It's funny that you say that because they offer that. You can get some extra vegetables and stuff on the side, maybe some bread, and even the drink bar. You can make these options. Yeah, look at Barry's laughing at him. He's like, "Yeah, I got you, man, finally." Yeah, you see the smile on Jordan's face. That's good sportsmanship right there. 1-1 is the count to Correa. I'm sorry. Uh-oh, that's crushed to left field. It's going to be right over the fence and gone. Correa launches it to left field. 200 career home runs for Correa. And the crowd is booing. The crowd is booing. It's 2-0. 110 miles an hour, 393 feet. And he stomps on the plate. And Walker, he's like, "That's how you do it. Do that." He says, Walker at home plate. Viper, I'm going to call that a home run steak. That's a home run steak. Home run steak with sides of veggies and Correa. There we go. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Home run steak with sides of veggie and Correa. Barrios is done. South Korea sends Barrios packing. And we are on a break as I get some MLB advertisements for Japan, made for Japan. How about that? 2-0 Astros, 5 hits. So we've got 1 run on a Diaz almost homer. A double off the wall that scored Sanchez, our buddy Sanchez, from second base in the second inning. And then in the top of the 6th with 1 out, it's not Jordan, it's Correa with a blast to left field. It's nice to see him pull that ball and blast it into left field. He's been hitting so many opposite fielders. It's fine when you can do that at will, but when I'm seeing a lack of pulling the ball, then I feel like the bat speed is not there. So it's so nice to see him get around on that. Good job. Good on you, Mr. Correa. I appreciate that. Shake says, pass the torch. 100% agree with that, Shake. Please pass the torch. Christian Walker is due up next. Casey Jones says, second in 2 games, former Blue Jay option to you this season. That's right. The fans aren't too happy about that. North Korea defection to South Korea. North Korea to South Korea. Prodigy says, bending over isn't in Vladimir's contract. That's right. Correa putting pitchers out of business. That's right. Who's on the mound now? Braden Fisher. Braden Fisher. Is he going to go fishing? That's high. Ball 1 to Walker. Let me change this guy's name on the screen. Interesting name. Braden Fisher. Here's the next pitch. A little half check swing, but fouled off. 1 ball, 1 strike to Walker. Oh, Prodigy is adding on. Let's see if Walker gets a pop right here with this $5 donation. He hits that one high in the air, and it's going to float out of play. That's a foul ball. 1 and 2 is the count. I'm gonna wonder if this is the Walker, the Christian Walker dessert bar super. That would be the only thing I can think to add on if I have the big huge steak meal with all of the sides and the drink bar. What else is there? Dessert. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. My phone is buzzing here. Ha! I'm getting notifications from the MLB app about that home run from Correa. That's high. Full count. Look at this. Christian Walker. He's got a full count. How about that? I think I'm about ready for another cup of coffee. Here's the full count. He fouls it off at the plate. The catcher can't hang on to it. We're going to have another 3-2. You guys are really awesome. By the way, whenever the season comes to a close, I'm considering what all I need to do for my content on my channel. Swing and I miss on the outside. The slider got him. Could have been ball 4. Walker, speaking of Fisher, Braden Fisher makes Walker go fishing. That's the Correa homer. Nice shot way out into the bullpen. Blue Jays bullpen. Here's a pitch. 80 on that outside edge. Sanchez at the plate. 0-1. Yes, Walker making that contact is definitely a bonus. It would have been better for him to like line out or fly out or ground out, you know. 96, high and outside, 1-1. But I am interested to hear what you all would like to see during the off season. You want to see a lot of highlights from the 2025 season? You want to see some deeper videos and analysis? You want to keep up on news and trade rumors? Shake says cover the Texans. Well, I'm considering it, but only if I can find an affordable way to do it, because you know the Texans only have 1 game a week, right? And that would be great for me. I mean, to do 1 live game a week, that would be no problem at all. Inside, full count. Good take. But the issue is, what's the cost? Because I think to get all of the Texans games, I think the cost for that would be pretty high. All right, low and inside in the dirt. And that's a walk. 2-out walk. That's the second walk for Sanchez this game. Eric says, don't lie, Go. Your phone was the restaurant asking if you'd like to reserve your usual table for the $5 breakfast. They see the super chats coming in. Sanchez steals second base. That's his second steal. Look at this. Sanchez, 2 walks, 2 steals. His jump was so big, there wasn't even a throw. Look at this jump. He took off before the pitcher even moved. Wow. Good opportunity here for Myers. That's a strike. 0-2 to Myers. Come on, Myers. We got a runner in scoring position. All we need is a little bloop. A little bloop. A little bloopy bloop. But Eric, it's funny you say that because I've got a very short little cute story I can tell you that coincides with what you just said. I'll tell you in just a minute. Myers, what are you doing? That's the 3rd strikeout for Myers, and that pitch was right in the middle of the zone, and he just stood there like Correa did in the 1st inning. He just took it. And that's it. That's another lobster. How many for the Astros now? That's going to be more than 10 lobsters. But we do have another run on the board. 2-0. Astros. Yeah, that's 10 lobsters for the Astros. And I am making my 2nd cup of coffee, which is going to be substantially weaker than the 1st cup. Kind of like comparing me before and after I was in the hospital. Substantially weaker. But anyway, Eric, your joke about the restaurant knowing that I got the super chats. Let me tell you what happened a couple of days ago. There, like I mentioned before, there are 3 different family restaurants: Coco's, Cafe Gusto, and Joyful. I don't usually go to Coco. I haven't been to Coco in a while. There are a couple of reasons why. One is it's furthest from here. It is very far. And if I want to have breakfast there, it's quite a distance to go just for breakfast. And it's also, the second reason is it's also the most expensive. It's the nicest place, but it's also the most expensive. They also are the one with the really nice steak dinners, you know, like the cheap one at $10 and all the way up, you know, to like over $20, and then with all of the additions that you can make. So they've got the really nice steak and all of that. First pitch is in there to from Alexander to Jimenez, and the next one is hit out into right field. Sanchez brings it in, but that's going to be a leadoff base runner. Alexander is up to 72 pitches now. We'll see if the Astros get a reliever warming up in the bullpen. Pitch count is not bad right now, but it is the bottom of the 6th. Leadoff batter is on for the Blue Jays. George Springer is up. Swing and a miss, 79-mile-per-hour changeup, nice toss. But because of the distance of these places, I usually go to Joyful. Joyful is not the best breakfast, but it is, for the initial one that you buy, it is the cheapest. A little outside, 1-1. And it's the closest. It's the closest place. But anyway, just a couple of days ago, I went there. And the thing about this place is they don't have the pepper and the salt on the table. This is hit to the right side. Walker goes to second. Back to first. They get the... No, they call him safe at first base. Alexander's looking over. He's like, you want to check that? They're going to... Yeah, they're going to challenge it. The Astros going to challenge it. Walker gets that ground ball at first base. Threw it to second to get the... He throws it to second base to get the force. Pena goes back. That's close. Can't see it from that. Maybe right here we can see it. He might be safe. It's really close. Whew, we need slow motion. We need a little slower than that to see. It doesn't really get any closer than that. Close. What do you think? You think they're going to overturn it and call him out? The initial call was safe. Well, Alexander covered first base for that double play. It's going to be super close. Spada's happy with the performance of his defense right now. Yiner and Alexander smiling and laughing about it. The crowd is not cheering. They're a little scared about it. They think he's going to be called out, but we'll see. I haven't seen anything yet to confirm that it could be overturned. So I'm 50-50 on it. We'll see. Garrett Cole wouldn't have made that play. That's funny, Viper. Framber Valdez. Can you imagine Framber making that play? He wouldn't have even... He wouldn't... I think he probably would have not even thought about running over to first base. He'd have been like, whoa, what? Look at him make that catch without looking. Did you see that? I think he's out. Now I think he's out. Just based on that one, I think they're going to overturn it. But man, did you see that? Alexander had his glove up to catch the ball, and right before it got there, he looked back to make sure his foot was on the bag. He looked away. The no-look catch. That was amazing. I didn't even notice that until just now. Here's the call. It's overturned. He's out. Yeah, baby. We got the double play. We got the double play. Yeah, when I saw that super slow-mo again, it seemed like, oh, yeah, he's out. He's out. That was such a nice double play. It's funny because Walker was actually running back over to the bag, but Alexander was so fast he let him take it. Man, what a great play by Jason Alexander. Look at that. Strike one. Nathan Luke's at the plate with nobody on and 2 outs. That was great. What a great play. This crowd is dead right now. They didn't like that. 88. Low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Stephen Okert is warming up in the bullpen. Here's the next pitch from Alexander. This is hit high in the air. Should be easily playable. Myers is back. Puts it away. No problem. It is no problem. I was right. 6 innings. Complete. How about that? 3 hits for Jason Alexander, given up by Jason Alexander. No runs. 2-0 Astros are winning. Going into the top of the 7th, Victor Caratini's due up, followed by Yiner Diaz and Ramon Urias. Now, really quickly, I'll try to go back. I see some comments in the chat, but I really want to get back to what Eric said earlier when he was asking about when he made the joke about the $5 breakfast. This is what I wanted to tell you, is that whenever I go to Joyful Restaurant, they actually don't have any pepper on the table or in the condiments area. And whenever they bring the food out, they always bring a small bottle of salt, but they don't bring pepper. At the other restaurants, they actually have pepper available, and you can just grab it yourself and put it on your food. And I like to have black pepper and salt on my eggs, and I even put it on my salad and on my bacon and stuff. I like to have pepper. I love pepper. So when I went to Joyful a couple of days ago, I have to ask for pepper, right? I have to ask for black pepper. And 2 days ago when I went there and I ordered my food, I was sitting there enjoying some coffee, looking at some videos on my phone, and then the lady brought my food out. And when she brought my food out, she gave me one of those small ramekins, you know, little bowl, and it had black pepper in it. So she remembered that. So you make the joke about them reserving my usual table, but it's not too far removed from that. She remembered that I was going to ask for black pepper, and she brought it out to me. And whenever I looked up at her, she was actually wearing a mask, but she had such a big smile on her face you could barely see her eyes. She knew what she was doing. She was so sweet. She's a lovely person. So I told her not only thank you, I said thank you for your hard work. I told her "Otsukare-sama desu." It just means thank you for your hard work. She was a little surprised for me to say that, but it's true. See, that's the kind of level of service that you want to get. Caratini hits it out to right field, a little floater, no problem for the right fielder. He goes down. Couldn't straighten that one out, unfortunately. Yainer Diaz up at the plate with one out here in the top of the 7th. Brendan says I should do the Rockets instead. Shake said cover the Texans. Brendan says cover the Rockets. It looks like they're not going to pitch. They're not going to pitch to Diaz. They're going to pull in another pitcher. So we've got another break. Another commercial on the books right now. We'll be back in just a moment. I'm not going anywhere, though. I'm going to stay right here with you lovely folks and enjoy my super weak coffee. But first, I need to put a little bit of creamer in it. My first cup was black because it was a fresh cup. But the weak cup needs a little help to make it more delicious. Stir it up. All right. It's ready to go. Now I can get caught up real quick on the live chat. Let's see what we got here. Prodigy says, if Walker was up there seeing some pictures and fighting at bats and seeing 3-2 counts, it wouldn't be so bad to strike out every now and then. Well, you know, even if he was striking out at the same rate at Prodigy, and I think you'll agree with me, if the only difference was that he was giving at bats like Isaac Paredes, where he just keeps fouling the ball off and ultimately he strikes out, every once in a while he gets a thump, you know? If everything about Walker's performance stayed the same, except for that one change, he was seeing a ton of pitches, then I'd be okay with that, because he'd be wearing out the pitchers, you know? It'd be no problem. That's what all of the Astros hitters need to be doing, excuse me. Lewis Varland is on the mound for the Jublays, the Jlubays. Lewis Varland. Is that a fair ball? Okay. Yainer taps this one at the plate. He says it was foul. When the catcher picked it up, the umpire says it was fair. He claims it was foul. We can't see it from there. It looked like it was on the line. It was called fair, though. Yainer stands there and argues about it instead of running to first base. They just tag him out. He didn't even have to throw it. He just tagged Yainer because Yainer stood there arguing about it. But Ramon Urias fouls the first pitch off. Come on, Urias, do something, baby. Below the zone, 1-1. Time for Urias to get a homer or a hit. 0-2 today. 0 for 2, rather. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Right in the zone, 98 miles an hour, and he fouls that one off, 1-2. Yeah, Shake, I really hope that Sanchez can tap into his abilities more often, because he's got so much talent. He really does. In the dirt outside. Whenever Sanchez is patient, he's really, really excellent. I mean, very, very, very good when he's patient. But when he's hacking, he starts getting out of control. This is popped up on the right side. 3 guys over. First baseman takes it. And that's going to be the 3rd out. So Urias flies out. The new pitcher gets the final 2 outs against our righties. 7th inning stretch is on. 5 hits for the Astros, 3 for the Blue Jays through 6.5. Bottom of the 7th coming up in just a moment. Should see Alexander on the mound again, I think. He's only at 78 pitches. We'll see. Vladimir Guerrero should be leading it off for the Blue Jays. The Dirty Bluebirds. And Prodigy wants to know what happened to protecting the plate with 2 strikes, referring to Jake Myers. I agree. Myers just took 3 hittable pitches, says shrewdly. What was he looking for? Good question. Myers has looked way off this game. Striking out swinging, striking out looking. Just looking kind of ridiculous. I don't know what's going on with that. Brendan wishes or hopes for Jordan to get a home run today. It would be nice for him to tack on another run. We need all the insurance runs we can get. We need to score at least 2 more, preferably 3. Still Viper blames Jake's helmet. Me too. Me too. Get that man a helmet that fits, and while you're at it, fit one on Altuve as well. Well, Gregory, look at the bright side. Walker has been seeing a lot more pitches today, so you got to give him that. He's got 1 hit, 2 strikeouts today, but the good thing is he's seen a lot more pitches than usual, and that's an improvement. Baby steps, right? Baby steps. We can call those baby walks. Baby walkers. He's using a walker. Right now he's got to use a walker. It's like he just got out of the hospital. He's got to use a walker for a little while. That first pitch in there to Guerrero Jr. is a strike. 90 miles an hour on the sinker. 0-1. Alexander is indeed still on the mound. Here's the toss. Swing and a miss. Nice on the Swiffer. Outside edge, 78 miles an hour, and 0-2 is the count. Whoosh, whoosh. Prodigy wants to know if Japan has Komodo dragons. I would think so. That's a ground ball to Pena. Easily retires Guerrero Jr. 1 down. Dalton Varsho comes to the plate in just a moment. Rub up that ball. Give it some love, Alexander. Here's the toss. That's hit out into right field, but right at Sanchez, who backs up and grabs it. Nice. Varsho goes down on 1 pitch. Nice, nice, nice. 2 gone, and Alejandro Kirk comes to the plate. He's over something. Here comes the first pitch to the Fat Altuve. That's a strike in the top of the zone. I think that they've got a climate here that's good enough to keep some Komodo dragons like in the zoos, but I don't think they're here naturally. The Komodo dragon. That's a swing and a miss. 0-2. Yeah, surely. That's exactly what I was thinking. I see your comment about Fromber. He definitely wouldn't have run to first. He wouldn't have even thought about doing that. Steel Viper. A little outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Kirk. I like Steel Viper's comment. Fromber would have thrown the ball at Salazar in the dugout, turned around and walked away. Low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's funny. So there's a tapper back to the mound. Fromber picks it up, throws it in the dugout, and hits Salazar, turns around and walks away. Makes sense. Man, high and outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here we go again. Come on now. Lock it down, Alexander. Break the curse. You got 2 outs. Don't get yourself pulled out of the game here in the 7th inning. Come on, man. You can do it. This is Kirk. Captain Kirk hits the ball to Pena to first. Nice scoop by Christian Walker to get the 3rd out. 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs. Jason Alexander, the summer of George is not over. Astros up 2-0 going into the top of the 8th. Where would we be without this pitching performance right now? Yeah, Daryl says hello again. 2-0 score. Eric says you've arrived. You're somebody. Yes. Yes. How do you know? How do you know you've arrived? Okay, let's write that. How do you know you've arrived? When the cute, middle-aged waitress in the countryside of Japan remembers you take black pepper with your breakfast without you having to ask. There we go. If you're not living in another country, in the countryside of that country, eating at a family restaurant, and the middle-aged waitress there smiles and gives you the black pepper that she knows that you're going to ask for. If that hasn't happened, then you haven't made it, my friend. But I wish you the best of luck. You can make it happen. You can become somebody. Shake says, Rockets would be good since we got Kevin Durant. But I wonder how that would work. Would that just be a... Man, I haven't watched basketball in so long. You know, the difference, though, is that there are a ton of basketball games. A ton of basketball games. There's only one... A little low and outside to Pena. There's only one football game per week. It would be so manageable to do that. Basketball would be difficult because there's so freaking many. The schedule will be crazy, right? Just like baseball. Games almost every single day. Pena flies out to the shallow right field area. Luke's. No, Luke's. Don't use your glove. Let the ball drop. Use the force. Obi-Wan, I don't understand. Why would I let the ball drop? Because the Astros must win. Here's the pitch to Jordan. 99, right in there. Lewis Varland. Bringing the heat. Jordan licking his lips. He wants that pitch again. Well, he gets the 99 again, but it's on the outside edge. It's not down the middle. 0-2. I think Varland is pitching to Jordan. He's not playing around. I wonder if he brings the heat again or if he throws a curve. He brought the heat, but it was way up and outside. Jordan doesn't chase. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Oh, I'll get the lobster count for you in just a moment. 100 in the top, or right above the top of the zone. Fouled off. 1-2 count remains. Astros lobster count right now is still 10. It hasn't changed. 10-4. Jason Alexander has not given the Blue Jays many opportunities to even catch any lobsters, much less bring them home. Low and outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. He finally throws a changeup. His changeup is 94 miles an hour. That's crazy. Jordan goes down on the knuckle curve. I was wondering when he was going to throw him the breaking pitch. He throws him a knuckle curve and the dirt. Jordan strikes out. Carlos Correa is due up next. Let's see how well he does with this pitcher here. He got around early on the last pitcher, but this guy right here is throwing heat. If Correa gets around early on these, I'll be quite happy. Here comes the first pitch. 99 fouls it off on the right side. Well, you know, practically speaking, you're talking about basketball. Practically speaking, from a business point of view, basketball would be better. More games means more money. That's actually one of the things I'm trying to figure out is, you know, what to do with my off-season content. That's why I was asking you guys and gals, because the main thing is I don't want to change my channel too much. I don't want to do too much that's kind of disconnected from the Astros. But if most of you are in support of doing something like the Rockets, I'm open to it for sure. It's a little more difficult to commit to doing the Texans because the Texans just have 1 game a week, and the amount of money that I have to spend to watch those games is pretty high. But even if I have to pay a substantial amount of money to get the Rockets games, they play a lot of games, and so it would be worth it, you know. Price per game is very low. Correa swings and misses, and he now has a full count. Paul says, I'm kind of amazed. Shatner is in his 90s and still doing conventions. Guy took care of himself and dodged bullets. Yeah, he's been around the block, that's for sure. Happy Today says, plus with basketball, it's constant action, so you'd have to constantly slow the game. Show the game and talk the whole way through. Hey, how about that? He did it. Correa gets a hit, and it's not opposite field. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Correa right now. It might seem like a little thing. Maybe a lot of people wouldn't notice that, but that's the thing about watching every single game and watching every single player's at bat. When you see the players bat over and over and over and over again, and there's been some kind of discussion about Correa's bat speed, because he has the ability to go opposite field, but the question is he going opposite field because he's choosing to, or because his bat speed has been down? But this game, he has a homer to left field, and then just now off this fast pitcher, he's got a hit to left field. So, looking good. Walker at the plate. First pitch was a ball. Second pitch, 98 miles an hour on the outside edge. Strike 1. 1-1. 2 outs. But we got a runner on. If Walker wants to make a big contribution, how about putting one over the wall right here? Here comes the 1-1. Ooh, slider. I'm calling this. If he gives Walker a good fastball, maybe in the zone, high in the zone, Walker knocks it out of the park. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Try to blow it by him. I hope that this pitcher, Lewis Varland, has some hubris and tries to throw a fastball right down there. He does throw a fastball on the outside edge, but he misses. Man, that was called a ball on that outside edge. Walker could have struck out right there. The placement was not where I called for it to be, but it's 2-2. Is he going to bring it down the middle? Here it comes. Nope, slider. Low and away, Walker takes it. Look at that. Good for you, Walker. 3-2. Come on, give him the fastball in the upper part of the middle of the zone. Come on. Here comes the 3-2. 88-mile-per-hour knuckle curve right in there, fouled off. Yeah, happy today. That's the thing. I'd have to change my name to like Go Houston or something, you know, like that. It would have to be slightly altered. But I think most of my subscribers wouldn't. I think all of my subscribers right now would understand it, but new people coming in might be a little confused, right? Walker's hanging in there, waiting for that fastball, that high fastball, so he can knock it out of the park. Daryl says, thanks for making my day a much better one. Look at that. 100 miles an hour. He brought the fastball again, but it was low and outside. He never gave Walker the pitch he was looking for, the one that I wanted him to have, the high fastball. So Walker walks. We've got 2 runners on. That's going to draw a little bit of a mound visit. We're going to have a pitching change. They're not going to let him pitch to Sanchez. We get our lefty, our mini Alvarez, number 4, coming to the plate. Let's go back to the live chat here. Yeah, Gregory, it's okay if we have 10 lobsters or 15 or 20 lobsters as long as we have a lot of runs on the board, right? But when we're catching a bunch of them and we're losing them, we're not bringing them home, that's not good. Walker can't hit a fastball? That's not true. He can't hit it in certain locations. But if it's high in the zone, he can hit it. That's his sweet spot. He can definitely hit that one. But that's why I said specifically that I wanted him to get a fastball in the zone, but high in the zone. If it's above the zone or low in the zone or even in the middle of the zone, it becomes harder for him to hit. But right in the middle and the top of the zone, it's like a sweet spot. I've seen him hit multiple home runs in that spot on a fastball. Jong says if 2 fishermen didn't bring the same lobster home, it counted as 2 lobsters. Yes, that's correct. Think of it this way. Okay? Let's say that let's say a fisherman is working to catch a lobster. He gets one in like a lobster trap, okay? Cam Smith is in the game. Okay, so with the pitching change, they're going to take out Sanchez and crank it up Cam. But let's say that there's a trap, a lobster trap, and there's one lobster in there. That's the base runner, right? Now the fisherman has it, but he loses it. The next fisherman is able to grab it before it's lost, but then he loses it too. And then they lose their opportunity. It's lost into the ocean, right? Then that's a 2 lobster loss. It's just 1 lobster, but it was lost twice. That's 2 missed opportunities. So it doesn't mean that you missed out on 2 runs. It just means you missed out on 2 opportunities to get that run. That's what it means. 1-0 to Cam Smith. Here comes the toss. Wow, that's a wild pitch. Runners are going to advance to second and third. Now both of our runners are in scoring position on that wild pitch. 2-0 to Cam. Brendan Little. Are you serious? That reminds me of Brendan Small from Home Movies. Brendan Small. This is Brendan Little. Hilarious. Here's the 2-0 pitch. He fouls it off. 94 on the inside. Yeah, he didn't strike out. And he did even better than that. He actually got on base. He got the walk. Shrewdly says Sanchez and Trammell, so much baseball athleticism. Want to see both of them for a full year. Would really balance the lineup. I agree. I like them. I just want to see them get better and better. Hey, how about that? 95 low and inside in the dirt. Ball 3. It's a hitter's count for Cam. Cam still has a 280 batting average with runners in scoring position. It used to be almost 400. Maybe right now he will be focused. Another walk. 94 inside in the dirt. Little has thrown a wild pitch and 2 in the dirt. Bases loaded for Jake the Rake. Myers has struck out 3 times today. And it comes to the plate in the top of the 8th with bases loaded and 2 outs. Yeah. Here is the first pitch to Myers. Outside. Could have been called a strike, but ball 1. The umpire didn't like it primarily, I think, because of where the catcher was set up. He had to kind of go out there and get it. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's going to be a bouncer to shortstop and an easy ground out. So Myers doesn't strike out, but he immediately ends it. That's 3 lobsters, by the way, right there. 3 more lobsters. So imagine you've got 3 lobsters, which is the maximum catch, okay? Your net or your trap, the maximum amount that you can catch at one time is 3. Okay, in that trap. And if you lose them before you get back to shore, that's a 3 lobster loss. That's a big loss for just one person. Think about that. Can you imagine having a full net of fish or lobsters and just one guy? One guy has the opportunity. All he has to do is keep them in the boat, keep them in the trap, and get them back to shore, get them back home so that they can be counted and utilized. But he fails. That's exactly what just happened. So 4 lobsters for the Blue Jays, 13 for the Astros. Yeah, we don't need to do this again. Stranding the runners on base. 6 hits for the Astros through 8 innings. 2 runs. We're going into the bottom of the 8th. 2-0. J. Paul says, I started all this lobster talk. I think it's a great analogy. I don't think it's something that's ever going to go away. Unless the Astros become really good at scoring their base runners, then I probably won't mention it too much anymore. Jesse says, no more nickel and dime games. Come on. Astros. I agree. Nickel and diming them to death is fine as long as they're scoring every 2 innings, right? Every other inning we're putting runs on the board, 1 here, 2 there. It's fine. At the end of the game you have like 7 or 8 runs. But the Astros only have 2. That's not even a nickel and a dime. It's like a penny and a penny. It literally is a penny and a penny. The Astros can't even nickel and dime their opponents. They can only penny and penny them. Fried Okert. Stephen Okert is on the mound for the Astros. Barger is out of the game. 1-0 is the count after that first pitch. Falefa, Isaiah Kiner Falefa is in the game as a pinch hitter. Fouls that one off, 1-1. Yeah, Brendan. Rockets have 162 games. It would keep me freaking busy. It would keep me very busy. Fouled off. Basketball only has 82? I thought they have a lot more than that. I thought there was a lot more than 100. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to the hole. Tough play. Pena throws it to first. Did it get him? They call him safe. It's really close. Great play. They're going to see if they want to challenge it. They decide not to. Pena makes a great play, though. Ran all the way over. Got the backhand. The jump throw. Close. So close. Man. Runner on first. Clement has a couple of hits off of Alexander today. A double and a single. This is his first time facing Okert. 1-0 is the count. Here's the pitch. That's hit really hard to left field. That might be gone. Holy cow, it's foul. Literally just a few feet away from being a homer. I kid you not. Maybe 3 feet from what I could tell. They said they're going to review it because it was hit so high it might have gone over the pole. The Blue Jays want a review. They think it's a homer. They want a review. It might be. Well, they might not get lucky. They're doing a review. Blue Jays think it might be a homer, so they're actually challenging it. Or is that a crew chief review? Might be a crew chief review. Okay. Whew. Call on the field is confirmed. It's a foul ball. Thank goodness. So, Jesse, you wound up being right. The Astros got lucky. I wasn't for sure. It was a little scary there for a minute. Because the foul pole out there is a little... It's not very bright. Not easy to see. You can see right over there on the right side of the screen. You can barely see those foul poles. It's like a shadow out there. 1-1 is the count. Runner on first. Here's the toss from Okert. Swing and a miss. 92-mile-per-hour fastball. 1-2. Yeah, and that's the other thing about basketball. It starts around the World Series. That's good timing, right? Instead of starting... Because I can't even watch LSU football. I like to watch LSU football games, but I can't even watch those right now because of the Astros games. This is my priority. So I'll watch these, and I just keep track of the scores on the LSU game. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout by Okert. Big strikeout. How about a little fried Okert? Type Ty France is in. We have another pinch hitter. France in for Loperfido. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. This is hit out into right field. Smith is in. He can't make the play. Why didn't he commit to that? Why didn't he just lay out and dive? Cam Smith seemed like he was going to dive for it, but he tried to stay on his feet and catch it, and he completely missed it. Maximum effort? No. Maximum effort of 0 right here. Look at this. I don't know what he was thinking about doing. So Cam Smith didn't want to lay out on that. That was highly disappointing. I don't know about you guys and gals, but I think that was a highly disappointing defensive play. Falefa has to stop at second base, though. Miles Straw will come in to run for Ty France at first base. Thanks, no thanks, Cam. Lefty on lefty right now. 1 out, 2 on, first and second. Stephen Okert is going to be facing Jimenez. Here comes the first pitch. Nice pitch. Slider for strike 1. Yeah, Brendan, you're right. Don't mimic Abreu. Be better. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Here's a ground ball, and it's going to get through. It's going to give up 1 run. Straw goes over to third base. We have runners on first and third with 1 out. It's 2-1. Double play still on the board. It's okay, Brendan. I get it. I'll allow that word. I'm not opposed to the word ass, but that's the way they've been performing recently, right? The bullpen has been breaking down. That's the way they've been playing. But that's going to be it for Stephen Okert. They're going to pull him out. George Springer is at the plate, and they are taking Okert out. Okert leaves with the first run. Jason Alexander gets through 7 innings with not a single run on the board and just 3 hits. Okert comes in, starts giving up hits and a run. Man, why do we have that? It's like the same thing with Hunter Brown, our other starters. A lot of times they come in, they pitch 5, 6, 7 innings, no runs, shutout, complete shutout, and then the relievers come in and start giving up hits and runs like crazy. What in the world is going on? It's opposite world, isn't it? You got guys that come in and their only job is to pitch 1 inning. Just 1 inning and hold it down, and they just blow it up. I'm sorry, but if you're a reliever and you can't do that consistently, just lock it down, then you can't be a reliever. You can't even be a pitcher, really. Because if you can't even do that in 1 inning, then that means you can't be a reliever, and you definitely can't be a starter. Not pitching like that. Hey, Robski, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Oh, okay. Well, that's still a lot of games, though. Yeah, that's right. Without the playoff games, Jay Paul is right. 82 games in the regular season, without playoffs included. Enio de los Santos is on the mound for the Astros. He's trying to get the pitch comm worked out. But still, 82 games versus what? The NFL has like, what, 17 games, 18, something like that? That's a huge difference. I'll put up a poll in just a second as soon as we're to the end of this inning. And then you guys and gals can vote. Here's the first pitch to Springer. Swing and a miss. Nice slider. Outside and low. He chases it for strike one. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Up and in. Gave him the facial treatment there. We have runners on the corners with one out here in the bottom of the 8th for those of you who are just joining. Blue Jays finally got a run on the board. We just had a pitching change to Enio de los Santos. Okert gave up the run. That misses just a little low and outside. 2-1. Jason Alexander had a phenomenal performance through 7 innings. Just a few hits, no runs. It's a very tight game right now, 2-1. Here's the toss to Springer. Nice pitch, 96 miles an hour at the top of the zone, swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Springer looks ticked off. Walker could have hit that one. Goodness, we really needed Okert to be on today. We need him for the postseason, whatever that's going to be. Strike 3, 96 above the zone. De Los Santos with some authority. Did you see him just look at Springer after he struck him out? He just stared at him for a moment. Pretty crazy. How do you like that, man? He could not get the bat around in time. Yeah, he couldn't get the bat around in time. He wasn't ready for that fastball. Out number 2. That brings up Nathan Lukes. Here's the toss. 95, a little high, ball 1. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. 95, a little high and outside, just barely misses the corner. Here's the toss. That's right in the top of the zone, 95 miles an hour. I guess Lukes was thinking he could just stand there and take pitches. Obviously not. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here comes the 2-1. 95 above the zone. A little too high to be competitive. 3 balls and 1 strike. Here we go. There's a poll. I appreciate you guys and gals participating in this poll because I really want to see what you think. It will help me decide what I need to do. 96 miles an hour. Fouled away. De Los Santos really playing the top of that zone and right above it. 2 outs, 2 runners on. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 8th. Very important pitch right here. Here it comes. Ground ball, and it gets through the middle. That's going to score the tying run. Jimenez goes to third base. We still have runners on the corners. 2-2. Man, Why wasn't he playing further over? I don't understand why Urias was playing so far over to the right. I mean, I know he's a lefty. He just couldn't get to it. I know he's a lefty, but I didn't expect him to be able to pull the ball on a... I mean, De Los Santos has a really fast fastball. I just didn't see Luke's getting around early on it, so I feel like Urias should have been playing closer to the bag, but, you know, that's just my own preference. It is what it is. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is at the plate. He's 0 for 3 today. It's 2-2. The Jays now have more hits than the Astros. They've gone from having almost no hits to having more hits than the Astros. They call a meeting on the mound. Correa, Diaz, and De Los Santos. Yeah, Fox at bat, you're right. With all the problems of the injuries during the year, the one that will really affect us is Josh Hader. Well, it is right now, that's for sure. Because we got all of our batters back, basically, right? We got all of our main batters back. Whether or not they perform is, you know, on them and the coaching staff. They've been letting us down for sure. But when it comes to the relievers, you know, like I said several weeks ago, we had to kind of scrape the bottom of the barrel to bring in pitchers, you know. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. Nice slider. Low and away. Yeah, still Viper. I don't know what Jason Alexander's limit is on his pitch count, but if he wasn't there, why not leave him in? This is grounded to Pena, and he goes to first base to get the third out. So the Blue Jays will not take the lead, but they tie it up. Flashbacks of yesterday's game, right? We go to the top of the ninth. Knotted up at 2. Victor Caratini is due up, followed by Yainer Diaz and Ramon Urias. Surely, that's right. Turns out, injuries to half your bullpen are really difficult to manage. Who would have thunk it, right? Who would have thunk it? I'm going to go in here right quick. I'm going to stretch my legs, get rid of some liquid. I think you can read between the lines on what that means. And I'll be right back. Go Astros. Top of the ninth coming up. We got another new pitcher in the game, Jeff Hoffman for the Blue Jays. The first pitch to Caratini is high and outside. 94 miles an hour on the fastball. Ball 1. The Batman with the serious look on his face. 95 on the outside. Fouled away. 1-1 is the count. Got my electrolyte drink. Here's the pitch. Outside and high. 2-1. Two balls, one strike. Top of the ninth. Here's the pitch. Oof. Swing and a miss on the splitter, low and inside. That one dropped below the zone. Come on, Caratini. We need you right now, bro. You're the man. You're on fire, baby. Takes that one good. The same pitch. Full count. Guys, we got Brian Abreu warming up in the bullpen. Let's wish him the best. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. Here comes the full count. That's hit up the middle. Is it going to get down? Come on, get down. No! That was a nice hit. Plenty of time for Varsho to get over there and grab it, though. One away. Whew. Yainer Diaz at the plate. 95 right in there. Strike one. Diaz has both a hit and an RBI today with that nice double, almost homer off the wall. Here's the pitch. Little check swing, low and outside. He doesn't go. He didn't bite. He wanted to. Good control there by Yainer. That slider was low and outside. A good pitch, but he held off. 1-1. With one out, nobody on. Here comes the toss. Hey, it's gone! It is gone! It's crushed! That ball is gone! 3-2 Astros. Yainer Diaz to left field. He crushed that ball. As soon as it came off the bat, I knew it was gone. I didn't even need to wait for that. As soon as it came off the bat, 3-2, the Astros take the lead on a Yainer Diaz bomb. He gets back the home run that he missed earlier by just a couple of inches, and this one was destroyed to left field off Jeff Hoffman. Holy freaking cow, Yainer, I love you. Catch that. Yainer says, catch that. He gives a big shiner. Hey, look at this. Altuve's at the plate. Man, how great would this be? Altuve is pinch hitting. They gave him a break through the whole game, and now he's in for Ramon Urias. 1 ball, no strikes. Come on, Altuve. Outside. Whew, that was close. 2-0. Come on, bro. This is my hero at the plate right here. Man, what a big hit from Yainer. 1 out. Here's the pitch to Altuve with 2 balls, no strikes. Curveball there. A slider? Look more like a curve, but 2 balls and 1 strike. Yeah, Jesse, it would have been nice, but I'll take it. Here's the pitch. Oof. Another slider right in there. 2 balls and then 2 strikes. Now it's 2-2. Altuve's taking a lot of pitches. He's seen a lot now. Let's see what he does. He hasn't moved the bat yet. Come on. Ah. He goes after the slider. He chases it. Low and outside. Altuve strikes out. Yainer crushed that fastball. 95 miles an hour. As soon as he hit it, boom. He turned right towards the dugout. He knew it was gone as soon as he hit it. That was a no-doubter. 95 mph right off the bat. He was camping on that fastball. Pena is at the plate now with 2 outs, nobody on. Takes that first pitch in there for strike 1. I see some comments I want to get to in the chat. I'll get to it in just a minute. Low and outside, 1-1. Man. Yiner gave me some energy. Unexpected energy in the top of the 9th. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Pena flies that one out to center field, left center. Varsho puts it away, easy out. That's going to be it. But the Astros get 1 run off of Yiner's bomb. The Blue Jays with a black eye because Yiner gave them another shiner. 7 hits for the Astros and the Blue Jays. 3-2 going into the bottom of the 9th. 3 more outs, and we will take this game. Let's see here. Yeah, yesterday 3-3. Today was 2-2, but now it's 3-2. Let's hope it stays 3-2. Shrewdly says our role players have done their job all year. If both Diaz and Walker had 800 OPS, would be first in the American League. Yeah, it's funny how just a few little tweaks, like if we had this tweak, or if we had that tweak, or if we had this tweak or that tweak, just some little tweaks here and there would mean like 10 more wins for the Astros for the whole season, or maybe 15 more wins. You know, 10 more wins doesn't sound like a lot, but think about how much that would matter right now for the Astros if they just had 10 more wins. Just 10 more. There would be no competition at all for the division if they had just 10 more wins. Mel says, I voted in your poll. I believe you enjoy doing the Gamecast, and I listen when I can, but do you think you should focus on your health in the off-season? I appreciate you taking that into consideration. That is something that I have to do. I think that if I were to do Rockets games, for example, because they have so many, I think that what I would have to do is just do what I can. I'm not sure I would be able to do all of the Rockets games. Maybe I would just focus on doing a certain amount of the games, or doing the ones that are best for my time schedule. Because some of these games, like the next game against the Blue Jays, that game starts after 3 a.m. for me. And those games are difficult. The good thing is that there aren't a lot of them, so I can try to arrange my sleep schedule to accommodate that, but it's still not easy. Abreu's on the mound, starts off with a slider to Dalton Varsho, and that's strike 1. Here comes the next pitch. That's fouled off. 96 miles an hour. 0-2 is the count. I do appreciate you considering my health, though, Mel. It's very important. I mean, just doing the Astros content, just trying to make daily content. You know, the daily videos and the shorts and stuff like that. That's it, high in the air, should be playable. Altuve and Cam Smith are out there. Altuve runs out of the way. Cam Smith takes it. Out number 1. 2 more. Alejandro Kirk comes to the plate. But yeah, the other thing is that I have to keep the channel going for a couple of reasons. If I don't do any content, or I do little content, it's going to really hurt the algorithm. It's going to hurt the success of the channel, and the income will go down. And I can't afford that loss. So I have to keep some kind of content going. But like you said, I have to consider what content I'm doing and how it affects my health. So I have to keep a balance between my health and my finances. You know what I'm saying? 1 ball, 1 strike to Kirk. One out. Nobody on. Here's the pitch. Oh, that one is hit off of Abreu. And it hits him right in the side. And he picks it up and he lobs it over to first base. But he says he's okay. He's laughing about it. He says, I'm okay. He thought that was funny. He's got the Sanchez attitude. Man, that hit him. Did it hit him in the butt? Where did it hit him? Either in the butt or in the leg. The trainer went ahead and come out to check on him anyway. Holy cow. Yeah. He says, I'm okay. Diaz ran out there to check on him. The pitching coach came out to check on him. Still Viper, thank you so much for that extra super chat. He says Abreu loads the bases up. Espada comes out to change pitchers, and out comes Chas McCormick, who proceeds to strike out the next 3 batters. You know, that sounds crazy, but I think it's actually possible. Here's the pitch. Inside, foul tip on the bat. That's strike 1. 2 outs, nobody on. Falefa at the plate. Thank you for the dream super chat. Swing and a miss. 96-mile-per-hour sinker. 1 strike more, and the Astros have this game. Come on, Abreu. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Falefa. Woo, just barely below the zone on the slider. 1-2 is the count. Man, that was close. Here's the toss. Outside, 98 miles an hour on the fastball. 2-2. Prodigy, thanks so much for that $2 addition. Is that for... Sorry, well, they don't take tips here in Japan. Hey, that's a strike 3. It got him looking. 96-mile-per-hour sinker right down the middle, and it dropped in the bottom of the zone. How about that? The Astros pull it out. Freaking Brian Abreu looking like he's supposed to look. Looking like himself right there. That looked like Brian Abreu, that inning. 3 up and 3 down, and got him looking. Even got hit with a ball. He just laughed it off and is like, I'm good, bro. Comes back and gets the strikeout. The Astros win 3-2. And how do you like that? Diaz with a 9th inning homer to take the lead. And then Abreu 3 up and 3 down in the bottom of the 9th. Go Stros. How about that? How about that? I want to get caught up on these messages in the chat real quick and take a look at the poll. Wow. Interesting. 38 votes. You guys really want some Texans. 50%. It's still a little divided, though. Only 18% want just Astros. I'm kind of surprised about that, actually. So 32% say Rockets, 50% say Texans, and 18%. I'm going to leave the poll open for a few more minutes so I can get the maximum number of votes. If you have not voted in the poll yet, I would appreciate you doing so because I'm really, really interested. Because here's the thing. If I continue to do just Astros-related content in the off-season, then I want to find out what kind of baseball/Astros-related content you would really like to see during that time. However, if you're very interested in me covering more of the Houston sports, then I'm willing to do that. But it has to be cost effective, and it has to be what you guys and gals really want. So if you guys and gals really would like to, see me cover those things, then I'd be more than happy to do those. Actually, I think doing the live streams for the Rockets or the Texans would be much, much easier than just creating Astros-related content. Because if I just create Astros-related content, I need to be posting shorts every single day. and posting videos a couple times a week and doing live streams once a week through the off season all the way until baseball starts again. And that's a lot of work. It might not seem like it, but that's a lot of work because I have to spend a lot of time doing research, making scripts and editing videos and then posting them. That's actually a lot more work than doing live streams. With the live streams, the main thing is to set up the live stream, schedule it on YouTube, create the thumbnails. It's not easy per se, but I do that almost every single day, and I can actually sit down and I can post the schedule for multiple games on YouTube and create the thumbnails in just a couple of hours. I can sit down and work on my computer for a couple of hours, and I can post like 6 thumbnails and schedule 6 live streams, and it's already ready to go. And then from that point, the only thing I have to do is show up here on time, do the live stream, do my commentary, whatever, right? And then when the game is over, it's over. After that, I can decide if I want to create any highlights or make any videos about what's going on in the season. I can do that as extra, as fluff, extra stuff. But if I don't have any live streams to do, then that means I have to figure out what content to create. I have to write the scripts, prepare what I'm going to say, record it, and make the videos, edit, and put that. And it takes a lot of time to do that. So it isn't necessarily easier to not live stream. Right now, for me, if it were too difficult to live stream, then I wouldn't be doing it because I do have my health concern. But let's see here. Let me get to the live chat. Let's try to get through this right quick. Prodigy, you're right. Finally a break comes our way. It's so nice, right? It's so nice to get that. We're up to 48 votes. We almost got 50 votes. I think once we get beyond 50 votes, I will close the poll. And one last reminder, if you haven't liked the live stream, please do so. I'd very much appreciate that. Where are we at? Did we get to 100 on this game? I certainly hope so. It was a great game for us to win. I wouldn't say it was a great game, but for Alexander, what a great performance it was. Absolutely. We got to 84. 16 shy of 100. 16 more likes, and that would push it over. Rusty Gamer, thank you so much for that $2 super chat. Another nice little tip. Yeah, they don't do tips here in Japan, but I could if you go to the right place, you can tip. But tipping is not a thing in Japan, thankfully. That's one of the things I'm glad about here in Japan. The workers actually get paid, and if you try to tip them, they refuse it because it's considered kind of an insult. Because they're supposed to do their best. If you tip them, it's kind of like saying, well, you did your best, so here's money. But they're kind of like, of course I did my best. To tip them is like kind of insulting generally. Let's see here. Yeah, it was a great game. Poll results. Let's see. We are at 49. Let's go ahead and end it, I guess, right there. It looks like it's going to stagnate. Let's go ahead and stop it right there. Let's take a look. Yeah, we definitely needed that win, Sam. That's right. Jesse says, I know the Astros won, but seriously, Astros have to find a way to produce runs. I agree. Too good to only barely win. They're better than this. They can do it. I agree. They've got some systemic hitting issues they need to fix, but it is encouraging to see that we have our pitchers also helping us out sometimes. Jeffrey Allen says, Anthony Rizzo retired. I will watch whatever you decide. You should try it Sunday against KC and see how it goes. That's a good suggestion. Just try it out and see how it goes. But it would be a learning experience because not only have I not done the live play-by-play for the games before, the other games, the other sports, My knowledge about the Texans and the Rockets is very low right now because I haven't been watching. I've just been watching the Astros. So I've got other things in my life, and I've been focused on baseball and then my life here, and that's about it. But I need something to keep the channel going. Um, if I don't do a lot of something consistently through this off season of baseball, then that's really going to hurt the channel. But on top of that, it's going to hurt my income because this is becoming, it's already become my second main income. It's not a lot right now, but it has become my second main income, and I need it to not only just remain steady, I need it to improve and increase. So maybe I need to change the channel focus a little bit to professional Houston sports. Maybe so. We'll see. Jay Paul says, I say just Astros stuff. There'll be lots of off-season stuff. Well, we'll see. It really depends because Jay Paul, the truth is, live events really do a lot better than basic videos. They do. It takes a large amount of luck. When you make long-form videos and shorts, they require a substantial amount of time to figure out and create. And then even then, you might only get like 150 views. So you can put days of work into a video like I do sometimes. Even making my live stream videos, I still make some other videos that take days and many, many hours of my time to edit and put together, and I post them and only get like 150, 200 views. It's very disappointing. And if that happens during the off season where I'm only getting, a couple hundred views here and there, then my channel is not sustainable, and that's the sad truth. So I might be forced to do basketball games and maybe even toss in the Texans games if I can, if it justifies me financially. So it's like there are two parts. One is it can't cost me extra money unless it's making me a lot of extra money. And I don't mean a lot like thousands and thousands of dollars. I just mean that the amount of money that I have to spend to do those live streams and the amount of money that I get it can't be equal. The money that I get to do it has to be higher, because not only do I need to cover the expense for doing that, but I actually have to make beyond that so I can cover my basic expenses. And like I said, my partial disability is kind of low. So this community growing has been an unexpected and very welcome surprise for me, because I wasn't expecting it to even get to where it is now. But then again, it kind of matches my health situation too. Let's see here. Alexander the Great, that's right. Sam Pretty says, blessings from the bayou, brother. Oh man, you mentioned the bayou. Makes me miss the food. It makes me miss the food. Thank you so much for that. It won't let me reply. Oh, there's a time limit on the live chat reply, but I think I can reply to you directly. I'm gonna let you know, Sam. Thank you very much. Let the good times roll, baby. Prodigy says the Astros need to produce more runs and stop blowing the leads late in the game. I agree. RK says, I would try to do both as you're able. It's a consideration. Everything that you're all saying are all considerations. Everything is on the table. It's just a matter of, like I said, the balance between the financial aspect and the health aspect. As long as I can continue to balance both, then I'll consider anything. But as of today, I'll start looking into the cost. What does it cost to actually pay for the NFL games? Because like I said, the Texans games are only once a week, right? And so if I have to pay a large amount of money just to do one game a week, it's definitely not worth it. But if it's worth it to do the NBA games and the Texans games, then it could be that doing the NBA games offsets the cost of the Texans games. Does that make sense? So it's a consideration, but I'll check it. I'll look into it. Because right now, the poll says 53% do Texans, 26% say Rockets, 20% say just Astros. But I could do Houston focus. We'll see. Prodigy says you don't miss any meatball stew or any crawfish fettuccine. Well, you know, as crazy as it sounds, I don't like crawfish. I don't like crawfish. I've tried so many times to eat crawfish, but it has such a strong fishy flavor, and I just don't like fishy flavor. I'm very picky when it comes to eating fish. Luckily for me, I'm in Japan. And I know a lot of people think, well, you're in Japan, you're surrounded by seafood. Well, that's true. But I'm surrounded by a lot of high quality, good seafood. So I like tuna, I like salmon, and there's some other white fish that I can eat. And I can get high quality stuff at a really good price. Fish is not expensive in Japan, and the quality is generally really good. So I can get some tuna sushi and some salmon sushi. They even have fried oysters here. In the U.S., I couldn't stand oysters, but I can eat those here. Yeah, shrimp. I like shrimp, but the problem is shrimp is. I mean, you're eating garbage. You know, you're eating roaches of the sea, right? So, not what I would call particularly healthy. But I love me some crab legs. I think those are wonderful. Even though I think crabs are also part of the recycling system of the sea. Jeffrey wants to know if Houston's NBA games are easily found on cable TV. Well, I don't have cable TV here. There's no cable. Even if I did have cable TV, that wouldn't be available here in Japan. Not NBA games. Maybe the occasional game, but it's not common. What you're going to see here are professional Japanese sports. But it took years for the MLB to finally become easily available for me. Just a few years ago, it started. The MLB TV started here in Japan, and that was a big change. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't be able to do these games. Well, Sam, it's not because it wasn't cooked right. I had lots of friends growing up who took me to the really popular crawfish places, and they said this is the best place for crawfish, and they ate a ton of it. Just they bring it out by the bucket, right? And we went to this one place, and my friend says this is the best place. It's the most popular place. If I take you here, you will definitely like crawfish. And I said, okay. So we went there and we ordered 2 buckets, one for him, one for me. And I tried several, and I said, I can't have any more. You can have my bucket. I'm going to order a hamburger. It's not because the crawfish is bad. It's just because it had that fishy taste. My taste buds, you know, are not like everyone else's. There are other people like me. You know, it's hard to explain. If you like or love crawfish, and you like or love fish and seafood and things like that, and I tell you I don't like it because it has a fishy taste, I think that people like that can't understand what I mean. But the people who feel like I do, they understand what I mean. For those of you out there who don't like fish or crawfish or seafood because of the fishy taste, you understand what I mean. But it's difficult for people who like seafood to understand what I'm talking about. I mean, the smell. Think of the smell of fish. That's how it tastes. And who likes the smell of the fishy smell? I think everybody knows what a fishy smell is. That's not a good smell. And that's what fish actually tastes like. Most seafood tastes like that to me. So I'm very, very picky when it comes to fish and seafood. Yeah, boudin, yeah, absolutely I do. I also love hot link sausage. I haven't had hot links in years. Oh my gosh. Actually, it's been like 6 years. More than 6 years since I've been to the US. Can you believe that? Wow. It's been more than 6 years since I've been to Louisiana. And even longer than that since I've been to Texas. Wow. The last time I went to Texas, it was just landing at the airport in Dallas and then driving over to Shreveport. Ugh. I really need to get my health recovered so I can make a trip over there, see a Houston game, and then have some food. I wouldn't say that Louisiana food is the healthiest, but it's definitely the most tasty, that's for sure. Daryl says crabs reminds me of Castaway, where he has to eat the crabs. I wouldn't want to eat crabs every day, that's for sure, but I can eat myself some crab legs sometimes. RK says Space City Network is where most games broadcast. Yeah, but the problem is it's not about that network. It's about NFL, NBA, and MLB. So I don't pay for Space City Network. I pay for MLB TV, and I exclusively select the Astros package. So I can see about 99% of all of Astros games just on MLB TV. But whenever they play on Apple TV a few times per year, I have to activate that subscription just to see those particular games. Now, if I weren't live streaming the games, then I wouldn't pay for that. I would just listen to it on the radio or something. But since I'm live streaming the games for you guys and gals, I have to pay for that. Long John Silver's fish. I like their chicken, actually. The Long John Silver's chicken. Once again, not healthy, but tasty. Sam is picky about grilled fish. Has to be fried mainly. Love fried fish. Well, you know, as unhealthy as it is, if you find a catfish place, if you find the right catfish place, it can taste absolutely amazing. But not all catfish places are created equal. Fried fish covered in crawfish etouffee. I'll pass on that, but I'll take the chicken and sausage jambalaya or gumbo any day of the week. Oh my gosh, J. Paul, chicken fried steak. I haven't had it in so long. Chicken fried steak with white gravy, mashed potatoes with brown gravy and green beans. I haven't had this home cooking stuff in years. They don't do that here. They don't do the country fried steak here. You know what? And there's another thing. They don't have grits here. They don't have biscuits. You know how you can just go to the store and just buy a can of biscuits. They don't have that here. They don't have pie shells here either. You can't make pies. Some of these things I really miss. Even if you go to McDonald's, they don't have the bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. They have what's called the McGriddle, but they don't actually have the bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. How can you not have that? I don't get it. You guys are making me hungry. This topic is we still got about 50 people listening to the live stream, and we're sitting here talking about food. We're not even talking about the Astros game. I guess we're so happy about the win today, right? We're so happy about this 3-2 victory. That's what it is. That's right. Catfish King in Texas does a pretty good job. I know about Catfish King. I know about that one. Captain D's Hush Puppies. Oh. Even Long John's Hush Puppies. Man, you guys are naming a bunch of crap that I haven't had in like 6 or 7 years. Maybe longer. You're hurting me. Raising Cane's chicken is another thing that I miss. The toast and the chicken and the sauce. Even the tea, man. Oh my God, sweet tea. My kidney is hurting just thinking about this stuff. I don't have diabetes, thankfully, but you know, I've got a host of other issues. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the food sidebar. I've got the massive tumor on my kidney right now, and the blocked artery or the blocked vein, and the blood clot scare, the edema, the swollen legs, anemia. There's a long list of symptoms and conditions that I have, but diabetes is not one of them, thankfully. But you know, I had to really train myself whenever I have coffee. it's either black or it has just a little bit of creamer in it. I don't put sugar in it anymore. And I used to never drink it without lots of creamer and sugar. But even this, like this is a pharmaceutical grade electrolyte drink. It's not a sports drink. It's, you know, the difference between this and the sports drinks is that this has no added sugar. I mean, it has a very small amount of sweetener. So there is some sugar, but if you drink this whole thing, you can still be, if you're on a keto diet, you can actually drink this whole bottle. And it's still below 15 carbs total. And I've got another one in there that has even less carbs than this. But all of the sodium that you need, all the electrolytes that you need, it even has some potassium and some other vitamins and minerals in it. But this is, you can buy this in a pharmacy. Now, they've started to sell some of these in the convenience stores, but the one that they sell in the convenience store has more sugar in it. So, stuff like this I've been drinking. Very refreshing. And on the side of the bottle, they mark it 100 milliliters. It's 500 milliliters total, and they have it marked at every 100 milliliters, so you can drink it throughout the day, just 100 milliliters at a time. Great stuff. Great stuff right here. Very helpful to stay hydrated. If I'm going to fast too, this is something I can drink while fasting. It doesn't break my fast. Jeffrey, I do follow the Hiroshima Carp loosely. They're the local professional team here in Hiroshima. But to be honest, they're not doing well this year. They started off just like last year. They started off really hot, and then they just started losing on the road. They still have a winning road record. I mean, a home record. They've been really good at home, but they've been total trash on the road. So they started off like this, and they were in second place overall, and they've just come down a lot. I don't even know where they're at right now. The Hiroshima Carp. They got a game today at 6 o'clock, as you can see right here. But if you look at the standings, yeah, you'll see that they're 54 and 68. They're not even at 500. They're at 443. It's terrible, right? Their home record is 33 and 26. You can see that right here. Home record is right here. 33 and 26. So they have the winning home record. But look at their road record. 21 and 42. And look at this, their last 10 games. 1 win, 9 losses. Can you believe that? Yeah. So, yes, that's why I say I'm loosely following them, because they've been playing loosely. They're very disappointing right now. You got the Central League and the Pacific League. They're almost dead last in the Central League, and overall, they are very close to the bottom. I think they're third from the bottom in the entire overall league, in the entire Japanese league. So they're really sucking this year. So yeah, their season is finished already. I mean, they still have games to go, but I think it's impossible for them. There's so many games back, 22 and a half games back from first place. Yeah, they're toast. Anyway, what about tomorrow's game? Pedialyte. No, I don't do Pedialyte. I'm a child in the heart. But not that much of a child. Holy cow, look at the Tigers destroying the Yankees 11-1. My goodness gracious, the Yankees are really getting exposed right now. Let's take a look at the other scores. The Cardinals and the Submariners are in the second inning, 1-0. The Cardinals are winning. Let's hope that the Cardinals can come through for us today. Come on. Of course, the Rangers beat the Brewers. The A's beat the Red Sox. That's nice. Nice to see that. Anything else of interest? Not really. The Rockies and the Dodgers are playing. It'd be nice to see the Rockies destroy the Dodgers just for fun. Tomorrow's game, let me scroll down. I'm gonna do it the lazy way. I'm gonna click on the Astros name so it goes straight here. Yep, you can see this game for me up here, right up here. This game starts at 4 a.m. for me, so that means I gotta get up at 3 o'clock. I'll be up at 3 a.m. tonight to prepare for this game. I'll start the live stream as usual. I used to start it about 15 minutes beforehand, but I felt like that was a little rushed for me. So I've been starting the games 20 minutes early. And get some music going, get my juices flowing, get the hot water on. And I feel like it gives me a little time to get things set up and get more settled in. I don't feel as rushed whenever I give myself 20 minutes to start before the game. So if you guys and gals are ever interested to know when I'm going to start live streaming, typically these days it's 20 minutes before first pitch. Today I was a little behind schedule, but not too much. I just I had to get up. I was supposed to get up at 7, but apparently I slept right through my alarm clock. I kept waking up last night. I didn't sleep too well, but by the time I did start sleeping well, I went right through my alarm clock. It just so happens that I woke up and still had enough time to get up and get ready. But tomorrow on the mound, the Astros have Christian Javier. He'll be facing off against Kevin Gossman. Gossman has a 3.63 ERA. 168.2 innings pitched. 130 hits. That's pretty low for 168 innings. Are the Astros going to light him up or struggle? It's a coin toss. 162 Ks, that's decent. 44 walks, that's very good. He's got a lot of innings pitched. 21 homers. Man, his stats look pretty good. I wonder, his stats look pretty darn good, and you just wonder why is he 9-10? Why doesn't he have more wins? I don't know. Maybe he's just had a few games where he gets blown up, or he doesn't get run support, I guess. Maybe that's what it is. Similar to some of the Astros pitchers, right? But the good thing is that if you take a look over here, in this 3-game series, where is it at? There we go. In this 3-game series, the Astros are tied with the Blue Jays 1-1. Game tomorrow will end this series. But the thing is, the Astros won the first 3 games, and with today's win, we win the season series. So that's good news. Yeah, that's right, Prodigy. He's got 10 losses. It's kind of crazy because if you look at his numbers don't look bad at all. I guess it's because he just didn't get the run support that he needed in those games. But maybe the Astros can light him up tomorrow. Like I said, it's a coin toss with the Astros. You never know. Daryl's right. 100%. Flip a coin. Flip a coin. Yeah, well, Brendan, you say the good thing about the Texans start at noontime. That's good for you. That's not good for me. Noontime in the U.S. is depending on daylight savings time, right? That could be 2 a.m. for me. So that's another thing for me to be concerned about is if I do the Texans games, any game that starts at noon, that's going to be in the middle of the night for me. So Texans games typically, unless they're evening games, the evening games are easier to do because of the time zone. Tomorrow is the 24-year anniversary of 9/11. Yep. Yep, I'm aware of that. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, Tucker Carlson has been doing, or he starts. He did some. He's done a series now on 9/11 Truth. It's nice to see some mainstream coverage coming in on that now. So I highly recommend that you check it out. You know, there are some big questions that have never been answered, and I called for that many years ago, and nobody wanted to talk about it. Nobody cared. My family didn't care. Most of my friends didn't care. They're just too busy like living life. They're like, let it go. But there are too many problems with 9/11 that haven't been addressed. It's nice to see it finally starting to get some light of day in mainstream media. So maybe you can check that out. Sam says or asks, do you know what series we have left? I know the schedule is tough. Yeah, I don't mind taking a quick look. I know that we have the Braves next, the Atlanta Braves. We're going to be in Atlanta playing the Braves. But the good thing is our schedule is not as hard as the Rangers' schedule. The Rangers have the hardest of the three. The Mariners, unfortunately, have the easiest schedule. But if we click on the Astros, we can go to their full schedule over here on the right side. Right over here, we got, of course, the last game with Toronto tomorrow, and then there's the Atlanta Braves series in Atlanta. Then we've got the Rangers at home and the Mariners at home. We're going to have a home stand against our division rivals 6 games in a row. The good thing is that we have a break in between these games. So September, now, by the way, ignore these dates and times on my screen. These are my times and my dates. These are for me here in Japan. If it says September 18th, like right here, for you, the game is actually the 17th if you're in America. But for me here in Japan, it's the 18th because, I'm a little ahead. You can see how most of these games actually start at a decent time for me. 8:15 in the morning, 8:15, 9:10, 9:10, 9:10, 9:10, 8:10, 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock. These are West Coast games. 11 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 10:38, 10:38. So most of the baseball game start times are acceptable for me because they're morning times. But the afternoon games can be difficult, right? 4 o'clock in the morning, 2:35 in the morning, 4:35 in the morning, 4:07 in the morning. And if the Texans games, if I go up here and I click on the NFL, all right, and go to the Texans games, I'll show you the difference here. Okay. So look at, this is the schedule over here on the left side. The next game versus Tampa Bay is on the 16th. So for me, 5 days from now. For you guys on the 15th. But it starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. That's not bad, but this is an evening game, right? The next game, 2 a.m. Then 2 a.m. 2 a.m. So 3 games in a row I'd have to do at 2 a.m. Now the good thing is it's only once a week, but 2 a.m. and then 11 a.m., that's okay. And then 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 3 a.m., 3 a.m. 10:15 is okay. And then 3 a.m., 10:20 is okay. 3 a.m., 6:25 a.m., manageable, but, get up 5:30. So you can see how these football games are primarily 2 and 3 a.m. for me. The only good thing about it is once a week. But once again, I wonder if that's enough for my channel to be showing just one game a week. To do one game a week is not very much, Yeah, that's right, Daryl. It makes sense, though. If the game is on a Monday night or a Sunday night or Thursday night, those games are easy for me because those are morning games for me. But the games that start at noon, which is the majority of the games, the ones that start around noon or in the afternoon, those games are more difficult. 2 to 3 a.m. start times for me. That means if the game starts at 2, I have to be up and awake at 1 o'clock. If it starts at 3, I have to be up and awake at 2 o'clock. So it's challenging. Prodigy says I need 7 more likes. I haven't even been looking at it. I just assumed that the live chat was essentially dead. We still got about 30 people watching right now. Do we have some more likes that we can get? Just need 4 more. Just need 4 more likes. If you have not liked the live stream, please do so. It would be nice to get out of here with 100 likes today, especially since the Astros won. Isn't it kind of crazy? We hit 100 likes in the last couple of games. Even the game that the Astros lost yesterday, we had 100. We got to 100. It'd be really nice to get to 100 today. Brendan says the Texans only have a few primetime games through like 3 or 4. Yeah, that's right. Prayers for our country. Yeah, and prayers for the truth, that we can get the truth all about what happened on September 11th. Blue Devil says, I bet you're happy about the Tigers-Yankees game. Not really. I'd like to see the Tigers lose and the Astros win because I want to see the Astros get ahead in the AL. I don't like the Yankees, but I do wish that the Astros had a chance to actually take over the AL. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen, but it would be nice if it were to happen. Football and Food Channel, Daryl says. Oh, man. But my question is, if I do the football and or basketball games, do I have to do live play-by-play or just live reactions? Do you guys actually want it? Okay, let's say that you want to listen to me do a football game and or a basketball game, all right? The Rockets or the Texans. When you're listening to that live stream, are you wanting just commentary on what's happening in the game? Or are you actually wanting some live play-by-play? Because with the Astros games, what I try to do is make sure that anyone who's listening to the game, if they're like driving or they're working or they're doing something and they can't watch, they're just listening, they can understand everything that's going on in the game. It's very important to me to make sure I do it that way. You probably have seen some of these live reaction YouTube channels with they've got a baseball game going on or a football game or basketball game, whatever, and they're just sitting there for long periods of time, sometimes for like 45 seconds or a minute, and they're watching the game, but they're not saying anything. And I think that's ridiculous. Why would anybody subscribe and like a channel like that? Maybe there are certain people that have this type of desire, but I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. If you're going to do live reactions, I think you should at least be talking about what's going on in the game consistently instead of just sitting there watching it without saying anything at all. But of course, doing the live play-by-play requires a lot more work. And sometimes the things that are happening in the game are kind of crazy and out of the ordinary, and you kind of stumble over your words trying to explain what you're seeing. And sometimes you don't even know what you're seeing. And I just have to say that I'm not sure what I'm looking at right now, and I have to take my time to try to explain it so that you guys can understand what's going on. I mean, I can show you sometimes clips, right, of the highlights and what's happening, but even then sometimes I don't know what's going on. I just have to wait and find out. That's why I rely on listening to the commentators. Now, the commentators don't always know what's going on, but they have a much better view of what's going on in the field, and they can see things happening that are off camera that I don't get to see. Let's see here. Brendan says the Rockets make more sense for you. But you know what? As much as I've avoided basketball over the years, it does seem kind of interesting to watch them again, especially since they've had some big changes recently. Sam wants to know if I've ever heard of William Cooper. He predicted 9/11, shared a lot of disturbing things. I believe it. I've probably come across William Cooper before because way back in the day, I did a lot of study and deep dives on 9/11. Way back before it was cool, I doubted that stuff. There's a lot more going on there. And it just seems like most people, it's not that most people can't accept the possibility of those things. It's just that most people just don't want to. They just don't want to deal with that. They just want to continue to have the basic, regular, everyday life, and don't want to deal with those existential things. You know, those things that break their illusions. You know. Brendan says, play-by-play, please. Basketball play-by-play way too fast. Yeah, that's the thing. Basketball play-by-play, I would have to say a lot less. I wouldn't be able to say every single thing that happens in the game. Would have to just kind of give you the main information. Death Before Dishonor, good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you. And Astros indeed. Thank you for being here. Did we get to 100 likes? Let me double check. If we did, it might be time to get out of here. 99. We're at 99 likes. We just need one more. One more like, and I promise I'll leave you alone, get out of here, and I will go cook myself some lunch. I've got some stuff around this house to do today. And now I have a task of figuring out doing a little bit of research on the other possible live streams. Yeah, never forget, because when you forget, it can repeat itself. Brendan says 100. Did it get to 100? Let me reload. Still says 99. I think maybe you see my like. I liked it too, but my like doesn't really show on my screen, so maybe that's why. But maybe it's close enough. Usually after the live stream, it winds up getting a couple more likes. But thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the super chats, the awesome comments. It was a very difficult game to watch at times, but Yiner came through at the end. And Abreu came through. How about that? So Abreu did it on offense. And, I mean, Diaz got 2 of our runs today. He had a double off the wall that was almost a homer, and then a homer in the 9th. I mean, Yiner was going long today. So, kudos to him, the offensive player of the game. Jason Alexander, the starter, who just nailed it down for 7 innings. And then Abreu locked it down in the 9th. So, overall, the only major issue the Astros had besides leaving runners on base was Okert kind of losing it when he came in. But they held it down. They held it down. Go Astros for sure. I'll see you guys and gals tomorrow. Tomorrow's game for me starts at about 4 a.m., I believe. So I'll be up at 3 a.m. and I'll see you about 20 minutes or so before the first pitch. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for the supers. Thank you for all the positive comments and the great community. And thank you for your opinions on the off-season, which is going to be on us pretty soon. I have to talk about it right now because I need to plan that stuff and figure out what I'm going to do beforehand. I've got a few different options available to me, but it's very important to me that I honor the community and the direction that you guys want to take it. I don't want to just make a decision arbitrarily and say I'm going this way. If the majority of my community would like for me to make an addition or make a slight change, I'm open to doing that. Originally, my for those of you who've been around for a long time, originally my channel was Astros and LSU Tiger football games. But I realized that doing those didn't overlap very well, and they didn't connect strongly enough to build the community that I wanted. So I just eliminated the Tigers football and focused on the Astros. But now the possibility of expanding into more Houston sports Houston Professional Sports gives me the, I guess you could say, the expanded possible focus of being an all-year channel, you see, because having 5 months of no baseball, it creates challenges and difficulties for my channel. And if you guys can bear with me and support something like basketball, which would be the best option, I think, because of time and because of consistency, then actually basketball might be the thing that sustains me through. We'll see. Maybe I can also do some football games, but like I said, I need to do a little bit of research and figure it out. I think it was Mel that said earlier, I need to also consider my health. That's true. But I need to consider those two things, my finances and my health. Those things together, I take those into consideration, but there's a triangle, right? And the third part of that triangle is my community here. So I take into consideration what my community would like to see, my finances, and my health. This is my triangle for my channel. So I want you to know that your opinions matter to me. Feel free to post and comment or send me a message. You can also send me an email. If you have some private thoughts that you'd like to share with me about it, please send me an email. I'd love to hear from you. Anyway, yeah, you're right, Daryl. Yeah, Sam. I was born in Shreveport, so I'm a Tigers fan. Go Tigers. Go Tigers. They're off to a good start. They had a little bit of problems with their in-state rival there, if you want to call them a rival. But they had a great start with Clemson. Let's hope that they keep it locked down this year. But hey, Sam, I graduated from Louisiana State University in Shreveport. That's my university. So I went to, you were born in Bossier? Wow. Shreveport, Bossier City, baby. Yeah, I was born in Shreveport, and when I was still just a little baby, maybe just a couple of months old, my mom and dad moved to Houston. And so for the first 7 or 8 years of my life, I was raised in Houston. That's why I became a big Houston fan. We moved back to Louisiana after that. So my dad and his family are basically all from Louisiana. My mom and her family are almost all from Houston and Texas. So I spent time between the two. But from basically, I guess you could say, middle school and on up, I lived mostly in Louisiana, in North Louisiana, in Shreveport and Mansfield, in that area around there. And then I lived a couple of years in North Carolina when I became an adult. But after moving back to Louisiana, my marriage continued to fall apart. And then later on, I went back to university at LSU S in Shreveport, right? And then I decided at that time, you know what? I'm kind of done with being here. I don't want to spend my whole life around, people and family that are just dragging me down. And there was no opportunity for me to do the things I really wanted to do in Louisiana. And I decided to go abroad. So I moved to China, and I was there almost 7 years. And during that time, I traveled a lot around Asia. And I really wanted to be in Japan, and I finally got here 5.5 years ago. But as soon as I got here, the pandemic started. And as soon as the pandemic was starting to kind of wind down and things were starting seemingly get a little better, I got cancer. So one battle after another, right? Plain dealing. You went to plain dealing? Are you serious? Wow. If you went to plain dealing, do you know Central? Do they still play Central? Because I in high school I went to Central in Grand Cane, Louisiana, and plain dealing was in our division. So we would play basketball and baseball against plain dealing, and of course track and field meets. Yeah, we played against plain dealing many times. But you're way after me. I'm class of 94. That's crazy. Small world. Small world. I'm sure you know where Homer is, right? My sister lives out there, at least she did. I haven't talked to her in a couple of years. But My dad and my mom and my sister all lived out in Homer, Louisiana. Ah, gotcha. I gotcha. Awesome. Pretty interesting conversation. The people that you meet online when you build a community, it's pretty amazing. People all over the world, sometimes right around your old back door, right? The old stomping grounds, I guess you could say. But anyway, I do hope that I can rebuild my health and visit again. Yeah, I do want to visit Louisiana again. I want to see another LSU game. I've got some friends here in China and Japan I want to take to see an LSU Tiger game one of these days. It'd be nice to make a trip over to Houston, watch some games there. Visit some family in Houston and visit some friends. That'd be nice. Wow, small world. Yeah, Daryl, thank you, and you too. Thank you all for the great chat. Thank you for everything once again. I will see you tomorrow. I'm gonna get out of here and go cook something to eat. I've got some stuff to do around the house, so I gotta get gone. But thank you so much. Go Astros as always, and see you tomorrow's. Bye bye for now. You too, Sam. Thank you. Yeah, you're right. If you don't have the family and friend support, it's really tough to be there. So, Steel Viper, thank you. Prayers and good health to you as well. Thank you, sir. See you all tomorrow's. Bye-bye.